Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Round Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you the Orix Buffaloes and the Saitama Seibu Lions, as this game will take place tonight at the Balloon Dome in Tokorozawa. And we hope you guys are ready for this one here. We got Manny Mike in the house and our friend Harrison. He has turned 19 years old today. Congratulations to you. We are going to give you the starting lineups tonight. First of all, for the visitors from Osaka, the Orix Buffaloes. Leading off in center field, wearing number 8, is Yusuke Mugia. Hitting second and doing the designated hitting is number 4, Tomoya Mori. And the 3 spot in left field is number 7, Ryoma Nishikawa. And the cleanup spot and playing second base is number 31, Ryo Ota. And the 5 spot and in right field is number 99, Yatara Sugimoto. Batting 6th at first base is number 44, Yuma Tongu. Hitting 7th at shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. Batting 8th and doing the catching is number 32, Sho Fukunaga. And batting 9th at third base is number 9, Tomoya Noguchi. And they are going to be facing arguably the ace of the staff. It is going to be Tatsuya Imai, who takes to the hill with a 4-run record in 53 innings. He's only allowed 3 earned runs. He's given up 23 hits, 15 walks, and he has struck out 55. 27-year-old has a sparkling 0.51 ERA. Well, that's your starting lineup for the Buffaloes. Now your starting lineup for the home team, the Saitama Seibu Lions, leading off in center field, number 51, Manaya Nishikawa. Hitting second at second base is number 62, Natsuo Takazawa. Hitting third and left field is number 8, Seiya Watanabe. In the cleanup spot and doing designated hitting tonight is number 26, Tyler Nevin. Batting 5th at first base is number 31, Shota Hiranuma. Batting in the 6th spot is the third baseman, number 5, Shuta Tonosaki. Hitting 7th in right field is number 9, Takuya Hiranuma. Batting 8th and catching is number 22, Yoto Koga. And batting 9th, the shortstop, number 6, Sosuke Genda. And they are going to be facing Kohei Uzuma, who has made 1 start this year, and he only lasted an inning and a third, giving up 5 hits, 3 runs, walking 1, and having an ERA of 20.25. Well, the first pitch has been delivered from Imai. It is swung on and missed, and we are underway. It's no balls and 1 strike here to Yusuke Mugia. The pitch on the way, and it is another fastball swung on and missed. Now the count goes to 0-2. Welcome to our friend Phil and to Jimmy, as well as Manny Mike, and everybody else who has popped in here. Manny Mike says, who would you bet on in today's game if I was betting? I can't bet against Tatsuya Imai. He has been electric this year. As that fastball misses outside, the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mugia batting .263 on the season. He's got no homers and 4 runs batted in. As there is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's a bit of a strange sound that we're getting here. Let me know if you guys are getting any feedback at any point in time. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to the center fielder of the Buffaloes as the right-hander Imai rocks into the windup and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to the right side, fielded neatly by the Lions second baseman Takazawa. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Mugia for the first out of the ball game, ground out 4-3. Our friend Manny Mike says, who is he pitching for? Well, Imai pitches for the Lions. He has been absolutely outstanding this year, and I would say I'd be hard-pressed to bet against him. I saw him pitch firsthand last year, actually the last 2 years, and he has been absolutely electric. He's not a big guy, but he does have a power arm, and he can really bring it. And the first pitch delivered to Tomoya Mori misses down, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander Imai ready to go again. He rocks into the windup and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses up, and the count goes to 2-0. It was kind of crazy the other night. We had one of the largest crowds we've ever had in for an NPB game, other than a playoff game. We had 83 people at one time in the audience. That was pretty cool. And we're glad that some of you were able to make it in the other night. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed. The count now goes to 2-1 on Mori. Mori hitting .294, no homers and 4 runs batted in. As I mentioned, it's a bit of an odd sound tonight. I'm not sure where this is getting picked up on. Hope it's not getting feedback to you guys. So there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now is 2-2 to Maury. I have to make a minor adjustment with our microphone here, and hopefully it'll be smooth sailing from here on out. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander Imai ready to go again. He rocks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down and in. And now the count runs full to 3-2 on Maury. Maury has seen limited duty this year. He hasn't played a whole lot. He is getting into the action now here for the Buffaloes, and he will be an important bat for them, not just in the short term, but the long term moving forward. As the right-hander delivers again, it is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And Maury's in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. And Imai looks pretty impressive right out of the gate here tonight. 2 in the books quickly, and that's going to bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. Well, for Nishikawa, he's hitting .296 on the season. He's got a homer and 10 runs batted in. We did the game the other night when the Buffaloes were playing the Fighters, and we were commenting and saying that Nishikawa really got off to a rocky start in the spring, to the point where they almost didn't even take him. They figured they might leave him and let him sort it out down on the farm. But I think they're pretty glad that they did, as there's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. Nishikawa has been flirting with the 300 mark for much of the campaign. As there's a fastball swung on and it's grounded foul over on the third base side. The count now goes to 0-2 on Nishikawa. So no balls and 2 strikes. Nishikawa batting from the left side, wearing the number 7 that Masataka Yoshida wore before he departed the Buffaloes for Major League Baseball. As the 0-2 pitch is on the way, fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Nishikawa waggling the bat. Imai getting the sign from his catcher, Yuta Koga, and he rocks into the motion. He delivers a split-finger pitch and misses down for a ball. Defensively tonight for the Lions, from left to right field, it is Watanabe in left. The center fielder is Nishikawa, and in right field, it is Hiranuma. Around the horn is another Hiranuma at first base. With second base, it is Takizawa. At short, it is Genda with the third baseman, Tonosaki, and the battery of Imai and Koga. And here comes the 1-2 pitch as Imai delivers. It's a fastball swung on and another one lifted foul. A good piece of hitting there by Nishikawa to keep his hands inside the ball and fight that one off. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Lions in their home whites tonight with the blue trim. For the Buffaloes, they are in their navy and their whites. I like these uniforms that the Buffaloes sport. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded back to the pitcher. Imai fields it, and he throws a sidearm all over to first. And that is going to retire Nishikawa on a ground out 1-3 for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Buffaloes in inning number 1. Well, they go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your score as we move to the bottom of the first inning. It is the Buffaloes 0, the Lions coming to bat. Mull says, do we think the Lions 1.5? I got to say, I think the Lions tonight with Imai on the mound, you got to be thinking that he is going to be the guy tonight. We'll be right back in just a few after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back to everybody. It's going to be Minaya Nishikawa, Tatsuya Takezawa, and Seiya Watanabe to come to bat here in the bottom of the first inning, facing the right-hander Kohei Azuma. As Azuma kicks and fires, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is quickly 1-0. Nishikawa batting .289 on the season, a couple of homers and 11 RBIs. He does have double digits in stolen bases, as he has 11 thus far. Batting from the left side here against the right-hander who kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. And the count goes to 1-1. Phil Cantelon says he took the 1.5. I have to tell you, I think the Lions here, they've got a chance to win the series here tonight. They obviously picked up the win last night. I think they have a chance with Imai on the mound. There's a fastball swung on it. It just popped softly into shallow center field. Retreating on it is Ryo Oda, and he's there to make the catch. And Nishikawa is going to be gone for the first out of the innings. So 1 up and 1 away. That's going to bring up the second baseman in Tatsuya Takezawa. Well, for Takezawa on the season, he's hitting .244, no homers and a couple RBIs. It's been a bit of a black hole, I think, in some regards so far for the Lions, the second base position, as they have moved Shuta Tonosaki over to third this year. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted down the left field line. It's slicing, and it's going to fall foul. They don't have this light-hitting second baseman. They're not playing him very deep. But that ball, if it would have went fair, it would have been over the head and well beyond the left fielder. But he has to come back here with the count at 0-1 strike. Batting from the left side here is the second baseman of the Lions, and the pitch on the way here from Azuma as he kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow right center field, and this ball is going to bloop in for a base hit. And so Takezawa is aboard with a 1-out single. And that'll bring the Lions supporters to their feet. And that'll also bring the left fielder Seiya Watanabe to the plate. Well, for Watanabe, he is definitely putting himself in place for the Rookie of the Year in the Pacific League. He's really enjoying himself a great season. He's hitting .310 with a homer and 13 RBIs. His first year for the Lions has been an impact bat, and he finds himself immediately right in the heart of the batting order here for the Lions, as the right-hander Azuma ready to deliver. And the first pitch is on the way. It is a breaking ball swung, and this ball is lifted into deep left center field. Giving chase is the center fielder, and it is going to be Magia who is going to haul that one in. And retreating back to first base is Takezawa, and that's going to put 2 in the books here. And that'll bring up the designated hitter in Tyler Nevin. Just defensively tonight for the Buffaloes, we'll get through this here. From left to right field, it is Nishikawa and left, Magia in center, and the right fielder tonight is Sugimoto. Around the horn from first to third, Tongu's holding down first. Oda is at second, the shortstop Kobayashi, and the third baseman is Noguchi, with the battery of Azuma and Fukunaga. So here comes Tyler Nevin to the plate, batting .274, 3 homers and 20 RBIs. And the first pitch is a fastball at the knees for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Nevin's been an integral part of the order. He had really good spring training. He started off rather slowly, but he has been slowly and quietly picking up the pace here in an important part, a stabilizing part here in the lineup for the Lions. Getting the night off defensively and starting as the designated hitter. Azuma leans in and gets the sign from his catcher, Fukunaga, and he fires. There's a fastball swung on and it's fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Nevin. Surprisingly, there are quite a bit of empty seats in behind home plate for this one here. Not too many down the left and right field lines or in the supporter sections. But it is a lot of empty seats behind the dish. So 0-2 strikes as the right-hander works himself into the set position. And the pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1-2 strikes. Waiting for our friend Harrison to come back and say, what did he miss? So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nevin as the right-hander Azuma leans in, gets the side. Runner at first, Takezawa. 2 gone here in the last half of the first inning. And again, Azuma steps off and is going to cycle through the sides again. That's the second time tonight. He's already had to do it here in the first inning with Fukunaga. So here's the 1-2, but instead he fires over to first base and diving back to the bag safely is Takezawa. Our friend Harrison says, have I ever been to a Frontier League game? And the answer to that is pretty quickly no. I haven't been to a lot of minor league games. I've seen games in the Northwest League. I've seen games in the International League as they throw over to first base and diving back again safely. But truthfully, never really got to too many minor league games. Lived in a major league market pretty much my entire life, or at least within a driving distance to a major league market. So going to minor league games was never really that much of a thrill or an option. Seen more college summer league games. Of course, was part of a summer league coaching staff one year. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses inside. The count goes to 2-2. Harrison says the Quebec Capitals are the best team. They're 7-1 in the league. I have to go take a look at their roster. Used to have some players that had played for them. But I've been out of touch with that. The Frontier League has now got the Quebec Capitals. They used to play once upon a time in the Can-Am League. There's a breaking ball swung on it, is lifted into right field. Camping out underneath it is the right fielder Sugimoto. He's there to make the catch, and that's going to do it. But the Lions strand a runner here in their half of the first inning. There was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 1 complete. It is the Buffaloes nothing, the Lions nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for hanging with us on the Last Roundhouse Baseball YouTube channel. Inning number 2 just around the corner after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is the right-hander Tatsuya Imai who has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action. It'll be the heart of the order, Ryo Oda, Yutaro Sugimoto, and Yuma Tongu to face the right-hander here. And the first pitch is swung on. It is grounded over to third. Fielded by Tonosaki, he throws to first, and with 1 pitch, there is 1 away here in inning number 2 on a ground-out 5-3. To begin the second inning, and that'll bring up the right fielder in Yutaro Sugimoto. Well, for Sugimoto, he is hitting .270 on the season. He's got 4 homers and 10 runs driven in. He has had himself a decent start to the campaign, that is for sure. As the right-hander Imai kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded foul over on the third base side. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. And to be honest with you, as our friend Harrison had said about the Can-Am League and about the, or at least the Frontier League now, which is where the Quebec Capitals play in, they've had some pretty strong teams. They've got some money over there. There's a ball hit on 1 hop to short. fielded by Genda. He throws a one-hopper to first, and that's going to retire Sugimoto on a ground out 6-3. Sugimoto hit the ball hard, just not in the right spot as it was fielded neatly by Genda. So 2 in the books. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Yuma Tongu. I will say this about some of the teams like Trois Rivières and the Quebec Cap. There's not much else going on in the summertime in those areas there as the first pitch is on the way. Fastball taken for a called strike. I've seen games in the North Woods League, and the College Summer League, and other college summer leagues in that area as well. As the pitch is a breaking ball that misses down. Count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Imai working himself into the delivery, kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled back on the first base side home plate. 1-2 to Tongu. Harrison also says, yeah, they've got the Ottawa Titans as well. Yeah, they were... All of those teams once upon a time had minor league affiliates. As the 1-2 pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that misses way outside. Count goes to 2-2 on Tongu. Harrison says his team is the New York Boulders. And they always seem to have 1 or 2 guys who had major league experience at some capacity. A lot of these teams. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Tongu's in the books. That's the second strikeout recorded by Imai tonight. And that is going to do it as the Buffaloes go in order here again in inning number 2. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We're through 1.5. Your score is the Buffaloes nothing and the Lions nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us on the Last Drops Baseball YouTube channel.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming to bat for the Saitama Seibu Lions in their half of inning number 2. Shota Hiranuma, Shudo Tonosaki, and Takuya Hiranuma. So 2 Hiranumas coming to bat here. The first one, Shota, is hitting .204 on the year. He's got no homers and 4 runs driven in. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1. And the count is 1-0. Only 11 pitches in the first inning for the right-hander Azuma. As he kicks and fires, there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count goes even at 1-1. Our friend Harrison asks if there is, or at least asks about the Quebec team, and there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2. So there are a few kids that are on that team that I am familiar with. As I'm looking at their names and numbers. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that breaks the bat of Hiranuma. It's going to be a race to the base at first. Fielded by Tongu. He flips it to the pitcher covering. It's a ground out 3-1 for the first out of the inning. The first one is Mateo Porcelato. He's a New Westminster kid, 6'2", 195. I believe he's a pitcher for them, it looks like. I'm reading the French site, so it's a little bit difficult. Familiar with him. Not sure where he played his college ball at. I'd have to go back and have a look at that. Another player, Jack Seward, he sounds familiar as well. Braden Alderman was a former pitcher or catcher and then pitcher at the University of British Columbia. He was out of the game for a bit. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed. We had him. I'm just looking at some of the other ones on that roster. Nobody else there that really pops for me. Like that is their pitching staff specifically. As the 0-1 pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And then you got Lachlan Fontaine as well. I don't know where he stands. I think that might be now as a pitcher or as a coach on the team as that ball was fouled away. 0-2. He's a North Vancouver native, drafted by the Seattle Mariner organization. And the rest of the group over there, not really so sure. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses upstairs. Count goes to 1-2 on Tonosaki. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lion fans are out in droves for this one, as the supporters are in pretty good form. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Not so sure. I like the way that was played by the left fielder, Nishikawa. Tonosaki's got himself a 1-out single. That'll bring up the right fielder in Takuya Hiranuma. Harrison says you might go see the Trois Rivières Ball Club on the 27th against the Boulders. He won 4 box seats that he has to use by June 1st. Well, that brings Hiranuma to the plate. And for Takuya Hiranuma, he's hitting .220 on the season, homer and 16 RBIs. Batting from the left side here as the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. It's grounded through the 4-hole into right field. And that is going to advance Tonosaki all the way around to third. And that's going to put runners at the corners with 1 gone. And now the Lions have got something brewing here in their bottom half of the first inning. Friend Manny Mike says, give your tickets to me. A little far away for that one there. If they're in New York, we're probably a good solid probably 3,000 miles away, or 2,500 anyway. So runners at the corners, that's going to bring Yuta Koga to the plate. I could probably use some Everett Aqua Sox tickets or maybe even some Eugene Emerald tickets. So runners at the corners, Yuta Koga stepping to the dish, hitting .224 on the year. He's got a homer and 7 runs batted in. Harrison says, if I pay for the airfare, it's a deal. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. My next stop will be in Detroit. Well, my next stop will be in Seattle, but the stop after that will be in Detroit to see the Tigers and the Twins in early August. Here comes the offering from the right-hander. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-0 on Koga. Should be in Seattle to see the Washington Nationals in about a week or so. I think it's a week or 2 weeks. Looking forward to seeing the Nats in town. They only come in once a year. Now with the balanced schedule, you get a chance to see everybody. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball. I'll take it for a called strike. The count's even at 1-1 to Koga. Next year on the docket, it'll be Kansas City, Missouri. I'll get a chance to see the Royals play. I've never been to see the Royals. I've seen the Royals play, but I've never seen them in Kansas City. That's going to be one off the list next year. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the right-hander works to the set. Zuma ready to deliver. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball misses outside. 2-1 now to Koga. So, at least at my end, my plan is for this year. Obviously, they're going to try to get to about 4 games in the Taiwanese league or to see the Chinese professional league. 1 in Detroit and probably a half dozen to maybe 10 in Seattle by the time it's all said and done. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, popped up over on the third base side, giving chase, but watching it drift into the seats is the third baseman Noguchi. Evens the count now at 2-2 on Koga. Our friend Manny Mike. Every time Manny Mike comes in here, I always have to give him props. One of the better logos out there in all of YouTube land. Be sure to check out our friend Manny Mike when you get a chance. I think that's the mascot, if I'm not mistaken, for his company. I was on his site. If it was this year or last year, I can't remember. I sometimes do that. I go peruse in the off season, and I have to confess I haven't done that enough to some of our followers who are subscribed to our channel. If you've got some stuff, there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 2-2. I do that in the off season usually, where I go and look at the list of people who are publicly subscribed to our channel, and then if they've got something on their content, and go check them out. During the season, a little bit more tough. Don't always have time. Racing home to get in front of the video screen as there's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be looped over the head of the first baseman, but it just slices foul. Oh, the Buffaloes were lucky there. That would have been a run. And they're going to have to wipe the blood off the ball there, as that ball was just bled down, but just foul. He got jammed. There was a good piece of inside-out hitting there by Koga to fight it off. Umpire had to get himself out of the way, and it just landed foul. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It remains to Koga. Harrison says he's going to be catching the Syracuse Mets tomorrow. As the 2-2 pitch is ready to come here. Right-hander kicks and delivers. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count now runs full to Koga. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at third, Tonosaki. Runner at first, Hiranuma. That would be Takuya Hiranuma. And the count is full to Yuto Koga. 1 gone here in the bottom of the second. Lions are looking to draw first blood as the right-hander works himself to the set. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Pitch on the way. It is a breaking ball that misses down. Runner was on the move. It's going to be ball 4. That's actually probably smart, because I think the catcher in that spot, Fukunaga, he came up ready to throw because they had the runner in motion. And sometimes when that happens, the umpire or the home plate umpire could lose sight of the ball. And the pitch looked like it was pretty decent. But as Fukunaga had come up, maybe not. Good call by the home plate umpire. Ball 4 it is to Koga there. But certainly in live motion, it looked like he may have blocked the view of the plate umpire. That's got to load the bases. It's got to bring the shortstop and captain Sosuke Genda to the plate. Friend Harrison says his parents are going to take him to the Iron Pigs game against the Mets. Iron Pigs, I think is it Lehigh Valley? So that brings Genda to the dish, who's hitting .278, no homers and 5 RBIs. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Azuma. As the right-hander works to the set, and now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. I haven't looked up in a while, but Koyo Aogi, who is a pitcher for the Hanshin Tigers, was with the Lehigh Valley Ball Club. He did not make the Phillies out of spring training. I guess the best way I could describe him, he was terrible. He wasn't very good at all. There's a fastball that is down. They appeal over to the third base umpire, and up goes the right hand. It's going to run the count even to 1-1 on Genda. So Aogi was a sidewinding reliever that the Phillies have signed, but he was a starter when he was with the Hanshin Tigers. But he had a very, very rocky year. The biggest, or spring training, the biggest issue is his control. There's a breaking ball that is wildly swung on and missed by Genda. Pitch broke inside, and he missed it by, it seems like, a foot. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to the left-handed hitting shortstop of the Lions. Infield is in here as they're going to try to cut down a run at the plate. Get in a position where they can punch their first runs across here. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Right-hander kicks, and he fires. It's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul on the first base side. Count remains at 1-2. Bases full of Lions. They're threatening here in the second inning. There's only 1 away. Azuma, who cruised through the first inning on only 11 pitches, has already thrown 21 here in the second inning of work. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into shallow left field. Moving over underneath it and making the catch is Nishikawa. Here comes the throw, and it's not going to be in time as it's cut off. And coming in to score the first run of the ball game is Tonosaki. That's going to be a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Genda. As Tonosaki will cash in the first run of the game here for the Lions. They've taken an early 1-0 lead. That'll bring up the top of the order in Manaya Nishikawa. So lots to cheer about these days in Takarazawa, where the home of the Saitama Seibu Lions are located. As we said before, the Lions coming off a absolutely horrendous year last year. They are playing much better baseball this year. In fact, I'd argue and say this, that they started to play better baseball in the middle of August of last year. They finally woke up. They were on pace to lose over 100 games. It had been a number of years in the NPB that any team had lost 100. And when you lose 100 games in the NPB, it's not like Major League Baseball. There's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike. Major League Baseball, they play 162 games in the regular season, and there's always 2-3 teams that will seem to lose 100 games. Japanese League, they play 143, so you got 19 less games. So if you lose 100 games, you're pretty bad. And the Lions were on pace early last year, but they were able to avoid it. There's a fastball swung on. It is grabbed by the leaping Tongu at first base. Oh, what a play by the first baseman of the Buffaloes, and that is going to do it. Nishikawa hit the ball right on the screws, but right to the glove of number 44, and that is going to do it here in the second inning. They got a run in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score, as we are now through 2 complete innings, it is the Lions 1 and the Buffaloes no score. The top of the third is just around the corner. We appreciate you guys for hanging here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back after these.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. We do know baseball. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this with all the action. Appreciate you guys for jumping in with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves here now to the top of the third inning, as it is going to be Kotaro Kobayashi, Sho Fukunaga, and Tomoya Noguchi to come to bat here to face Tatsuya Imai, who has hardly broken a sweat. Only 25 pitches in the first 2 innings for the right-hander of the Lions as we are ready to resume the action here. Phil says, nice play. Let's go Buffaloes and get the bats going. It's going to be a tough night at the office for the bats. They might be left in the freezer here facing Imai as there's a breaking ball missing upstairs for ball 1. Kobayashi on the season hitting .298, 3 homers and 13 runs batted in. Waits on the offering from the right-hander, and there's a breaking ball waved at and missed. The count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I found that very odd the other night. We were doing the game, and it was like, I don't know, about the 3rd or the 4th inning. All of a sudden, we had a big rush of gamblers come in as that pitch is waved at and missed. Count goes to 1-2. It was a fun crowd the other night. As there was a bunch of people in for the Buffaloes and the Fighter game, that getaway game, as that breaking ball misses down, and the count now is 2-2 on Kobayashi. Had a lot of fun. Grace, our friend Gracie Lynn, who was in the stream, had left at the end of the 6th inning, and that's when all heck broke loose. Fastball swung on, grounded over to third. Tonosaki fields it. He throws to first. Kobayashi's retired on a ground out 5-3 for the first out of the inning. Bring up the catcher in Sho Fukunaga. Well, for Fukunaga, he's hitting .174 on the season. He's got no homers and 3 RBIs. Kind of interesting to see how they're using their catchers are the Buffaloes. Haven't seen Tomoya Mori behind the dish yet, although that's because we haven't seen a lot of Tomoya Mori this year. First pitch fastball misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. He is in the lineup tonight as a DH. As the right-hander ready to go, he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count goes to 2-0 on Fukunaga. I think Phil is if I'm not mistaken, is a Buffalo fan. One of my early streams, I have the Buffaloes going back to the playoffs this year. I really do. I just don't know. I think they got enough pitching, certainly with the addition of Aaron Curry in the offseason as that fastball misses down. Counts 3-0. They really last year missed, or, you could overcome the loss of Masataka Yoshida. You couldn't overcome the loss. There's a fastball taken for a called strike of Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Just too good an arm taken out of your ball club. That was the swing difference of not making the playoffs. Here's the 3-1. Fastball swung on, fouled straight back. Count now goes full to Fukunaga. I've seen games at the Kyocera Dome. I've just never seen the Buffaloes there. I was at the Kyocera Dome. It was the Carp taking on the Amuri Giants. Bit of a neutral site affair. There's a breaking ball swung on his grounded foul right at home plate. Count remains at 3-2 to Fukunaga. I have seen the Buffaloes play in the Hodomoto Field in Kobe. It was a pretty cool place to watch a game. Outdoor stadium. I don't know what I would compare it to. It's, in a way, it almost compares in some ways to the stadium in Tokorozawa. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Fukunaga took that one for excessive window shopping. He's gone for the second out of the inning. He's going to leave it all up to the third baseman and Tomoya Noguchi. Got to tell you, Imai is having himself one heck of a season. He's retired 8 in a row here to start the ball game, as the first pitch to Noguchi is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Now, he's definitely making a statement for the early season candidate for the Sawamura Award. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Have to go look at the other pitchers around the NPB and see who else would be in that conversation. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. Count now 2-1. But certainly Imai would be the leading candidate, or at least in my mind would be. Here comes the 2-1 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses way outside. And to think about it, last year, I think he was third in the league in ERA, and he was number 1 in strikeouts. He is behind currently Hiromi Ito and Samita, his teammate, for wins, as they've got 5 each. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes full to Noguchi. But as far as strikeouts are concerned, he's at 55. Well, going into tonight's game, he was at 55. He was 1 behind Hiromi Ito. He was 5 ahead of Hiroya Miyagi. And there's a fastball swung on, grounded over to second. Fielded in shallow right field by the second baseman, Takezawa. He throws to first. That's going to retire Noguchi. It's a ground out 4-3. So we might have something special brewing here early on. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. That is 9 in a row retired here to start the ball game by Imai. Your score as we move to the bottom of the third inning. It's the Lions 1 and the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for hanging with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the last half of the third inning. It's the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Lions. And the first pitch is delivered to Natsuo Takezawa. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. For ball 1, count is 1-0. Takezawa got the first hit of the ball game for either team as he had a single in the first inning. He was left stranded as there's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Takezawa. Right-hander ready to go again, kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike. That's a high breaking ball to be called a strike. Our friend Phil says, you got to hold the Lions offenses. Imai is pitching a gem. Yeah, he is. There's a fastball that just misses outside. Count goes to 2-2. That pitch looked better than the breaking ball. It was called a strike. Harrison says, what's our favorite fast food? To be honest with you, the fast food that I like, and I don't even know if I can call it fast food. There's a fastball missing inside, and the count's 3-2 now to Takezawa. There is a very good ramen scene here on the West Coast. So if you want Japanese ramen, there is all kinds of it up and down the coast. There's a chain out of Fukuoka that has a few locations in the Vancouver area. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. 3-2 here to Takezawa. And they have one in Seattle. They've got a couple in New York, and it's called Danbo Ramen. And if you ever get a chance to experience Fukuoka-style ramen, you'll know what I mean. Breaking ball swung on and fouled away down the left field line, and the count remains at 3-2. So that is my number one thing. If I do that, I want to go for a bowl of ramen. There's nothing better than that. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Takezawa. As the right-hander ready to deliver, he kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball swung on and another one fouled away down the left field line. Count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Seiya Watanabe and Tyler Nevin to follow here in inning number 3. Lions enjoying a 1-0 lead. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and this battle is going to continue as this is going to be the 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up here to the pesky left-handed hitting second baseman of the Lions. Harrison asked the question if we follow. Yeah, we don't follow it always that tightly, but we do. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. As it's on its way, there's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and we continue the battle here. It's now 10 pitches in deep into this at bat, as this is going to be pitch number 11 here coming up to Takezawa. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, breaking ball swung on. It is looped softly over to short, and Kobayashi is going to make the catch. That is going to retire Takezawa for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here. It's going to bring up the left fielder and Seiya Watanabe. Well, for Watanabe, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to center field his first time up. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander Azuma, who kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. Count is quickly 0-1. Watanabe, for a rookie, he just looks like he is so at ease at the plate. Looks like a veteran hitter. He's still very, very young, the 23-year-old, as he waits here, and there's a breaking ball missing outside. Count goes even at 1-1. He is definitely an impact bat and hasn't skipped a beat since been given his early season debut. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Count goes to 1-2 on Watanabe. Well, the pitch count for the starter of the Buffaloes, this is going to be his 50th pitch coming up here. You think about it, he better get the bullpen going. And there is a breaking ball that is swung on, and the tag is going to be applied by Fukunaga. Watanabe didn't even attempt to run. So he's going to go down on strikes for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to the designated hitter and Tyler Nevin. That pitch bounced up to the plate. Watanabe unable to hold up. We got multiple replays on that. That's a pretty easy call there, as he did go around, not just in our opinion, but in that of the home plate umpires. So that is going to bring Nevin to the plate, who's 0 for 1. He flew out to right field his first time up, and he swings at a breaking ball and drives it into straightaway center field, going back onto the edge of the warning track, and making the catch is the center fielder Magia, and that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the inning. Well, they go in order, 1, 2, 3 in the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now a third of the way of the game in the books, and your score is the Lions 1 and the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top of the fourth inning, and coming to bat for the Buffaloes will be the top of the order. It'll be Magia, Mori, and Nishikawa to face the right-hander Tatsuya Imai, who has not had a blemish in his first 3 innings of work. We're talking about pitch counts. Although I have to say he has gone to 3 times the full counts on hitters, as Imai, including 2 in the last half inning. 43 pitches for the Lions right-hander through his 3 innings of work, a little different than that of his counterpart for the Buffaloes, who really had to work in that last half inning. As Imai kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left center field, moving over underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch is Nishikawa. And with 1 pitch, there is 1 away here in the 4th inning. It's going to bring up the designated hitter in Tomoya Mori. Well, if there's somebody to get a hit here for the Buffaloes, I would circle Mori as one of them, the former Lion. Getting an opportunity to start here. It's one-time stomping grounds. Talked about it earlier, is that the Lions have a hard time retaining their stars over the last probably 10 or so years. And some of it is character issues. Some of it is players just don't want to be there. Breaking ball misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Mori. It's interesting when you have a culture, you're trying to develop a culture, and the next thing you know is people start packing up and leaving and going in different directions. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. If it's fair, it's going to be trouble, and it's just going to hook foul. Count goes to 1-1 on Mori. Friend asking about, what is it, Planeteer Technologies or something like that. To be honest with you, don't really know much and honestly don't really care a whole lot about that particular product. But looks like it does fairly well. Fastball misses down and in. The count is now 2-1 to Mori. Mori batting from the left side here against the right-handed thrower. Imai ready to go again. He rocks himself into the windup. There's a fastball that misses outside, and it's now 3-1. So 3 balls and a strike. Last Raps baseball or Last Raps market watch? We are not. Here comes the 3-1 pitch as Imai kicks and delivers. Breaking ball taken inside for a called strike. The count goes to 3-2. That one there, I'd have to say, that was where I was talking about before, the favorable breaking ball pitches up in the zone that the umpire has called tonight on both teams. Imai, they're getting the benefit of the doubt. Here's the 3-2. Breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 3-2 to Mori. Redbeard breaks in the house here. I think you were masquerading under another sign earlier, but we're always glad to have you, our red-bearded friend. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander Imai works himself into the set. Here comes the pitch. And there's a breaking ball that misses down, and that's going to be the first base runner of the night here for the Buffaloes. Remember what I said earlier, if there's going to be somebody who's going to break it up, it would be Mori. Well, they still have the perfect game is gone, but the other one is still intact. So Mori aboard here with a 7-pitch walk, and that's going to bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. For Nishikawa, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He had grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. So Mori establishing his lead over at first. He's got the oven mitt as well. Watching players with the oven mitts. As the right-hander ready to deliver, he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on, lined up the middle, almost hits Imai right into center field, and that's the first hit of the ball game here for the Buffaloes. As that is, they've got something brewing now here with Mori at second and Nishikawa at first. It's going to bring Rio Oda to the plate. It's going to bring the catcher Yuta Koga out to the mound. As he's going to have a word with his right-hander. Redbeard says he needs some oven mitts. Redbeard, Harrison is pounding out, saying it's his birthday tonight. What's the other guy's name? Ryan. Our friend Ryan, who checks in and does the countdown for, seems like weeks. And then when it gets there, we start the countdown to next year. So just so you guys know, it's 365 days away for Harrison's next one. Well, that puts runners at first and second here. As Mori at second, Nishikawa at first. Oda at the plate here, 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded out to third his first time up. His average is dipped to 329 on the season. 4 homers and 19 runs batted in. Pitch on the way. There's a fastball swung at it. Breaks the bat of Oda. They go to second for 1. Back to first. That's going to be an inning-ending double play. That ball was absolutely exploded. The bat of Oda. That's going to be a double play of the 6-4-3 variety. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the inning. They threaten, but they don't score. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your scores, we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is the Lions 1, the Buffaloes no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. Some scoring updates from around the NPB. The game at the Zozo Marine Stadium between the Fighters and the Marines has been postponed due to weather. Bottom of the 3rd inning at the PayPay Dome, it is the Hawks 1-0 over the Eagles. Only other game underway in the Central League. Bottom of the 4th inning at the Cochin Stadium, the Carp and the Tigers locked at zeros. Later this evening, in about 3 hours' time at the Jingu Stadium, it will be the Bay Stars and the Swallows, as well as the Dragons and the Giants. First pitch, breaking ball delivered to Shota Hiranuma. Take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Fastball just misses off the inside corner, and now the count runs even. Hiranuma 0 for 1 tonight. Grounded to first his only time up. Waiting here on the offering from the righty Azuma as the pitch is a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up over on the third base side, but that one's going to reach the seats. And the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend Harrison thinks he might make it another inning. I think you're probably good for another 3 or 4 more, Harrison. Just got to get to the beer fridge, have another beer. And the beer will tell you when it's time to pass out. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander works to the belt and now delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 2-2. If you were in Canada, you'd be all legal to drink at 19. Of course, in the United States, in New York State, you got to be 21. I'm sure there's a few ways around that, though. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hiranuma. Tonosaki and Hiruma to follow as the right-hander delivers. Breaking ball swung on, and it is grounded foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 2-2 to to Hiranuma. Talking about the pitch counts, 51 pitches through 3 for Azuma. As Harrison says, he's underage. But if you were in Europe, you'd be all good to go. I think it's, 16 for booze, I think it is, or there's no real limit. They don't really care. I think it's 16 for hard liquor. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Left-handed hitting Hiranuma really spreads himself out wide here with 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side. Fielded in shallow right field by Oda, but he juggles it a little bit, and that ball is going to hit the deck. I'm going to see if they're going to charge him with an error or not. I'm not so sure he would have come up with the play, even if he would have done it. He really had the range to his left. And then when he got the ball, he ended up spitting up in the air. We'll have to we'll get a look at the replay, and maybe we'll change our mind on this one. But he has to go deep into the 4-hole. And then by the time he has to turn and throw to first base, he lost the handle. And that reaching safely at first is Hiranuma. We'll wait on that decision. See what the official score has to say. So that brings Shida Tonosaki to the plate. He's 1 for 1 tonight. He singled his first time up, and he's already squaring to bunt. Looks like the Lions are going to try to play for a run at a time here. Scoring will be at a premium. Our friend Redbeard says, have a coffee. Absolutely. Or have a Red Bull. Either way, it'll get your energy up. Get you all fired up. Here comes the offering to Tonosaki as again they check the runner at first base. As the pitch is on the way, it is a fastball that's taken upstairs. Tonosaki pulled back. 1 ball and no strikes here to the right-handed hitting third baseman of the Lions. Tonosaki getting himself reset back in, and he's again already squaring to bunt. As the right-hander looks over, checks the runner at first base. Hiranuma establishing his lead. Here comes the pitch. On its way, breaking ball. Take it for a called strike. Oh, Tonosaki didn't like it. But there you go right there. I've been saying this the whole evening. The high breaking balls have been called for a strike by the home plate umpire for both teams tonight. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Is Tonosaki ready to go again? They hold the runner at first. Even with the bag over at third, here comes the pitch. Throw over to first base and diving back in time as the runner, Hiranuma, safely. Didn't get an update on that score yet. I'll have to take a look again to see if they have decided on this one here. It is an error charge to the second baseman, so that is going to be E4 for Hiranuma to reach base. There's a ball that's bunted down the first baseline. Fielded by Azuma. He picks it up. He throws to first. And that is going to go in the books as a sacrifice, 1-4. As Oda was covering on the putout. Advancing over to second is Hiranuma. That is going to bring up the right fielder, Takuya Haruma. And for Haruma, well, his first time up, he had a single to right field. He's 1 for 1 tonight in this one. So he bats here from the left side. So Haruma digs himself in. As the right-hander leans in and gets his sign. And the first pitch ready to come here on the way. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Haruma, in this ball game here tonight, he is 1 for 1. That's his first action of the 2025 campaign. sure where we received his numbers. I think the numbers we were looking at was last year's numbers. He had almost 16 RBIs and 3 stolen bases where he hit 220. As he swings through the fastball, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Back on the airwaves again tomorrow night. Same 2 teams, same channel. So if you happen to be around and you got nothing else to do, come on in and hang out again. Also be a 10 p.m. Pacific or 1 a.m. Eastern start for that one. As there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted in straightaway center field. Moving back on it and in front of the warning track to make the catch is Magia. Tagging at second and heading to third will be Hiranuma, as that is going to advance the runner here for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the catcher in Yuta Koga. Well, for Koga, he is officially got no at-bat tonight. He walked his first time up. He was left stranded at first base back in inning number 2. I have to say, I kind of like the Lions jerseys. I like the colors and I like what they have. I was there last year and a couple of years ago. Just really enjoy their uniforms. Even some of their alternate uniforms, they wear that powder blue with the pinstripe. That's kind of a cool look. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Our friend Redbeard is still in the house here. We got our friend Geraldine in the house as well. You get a kick out of that one. So no balls and 1 strike. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded off the glove of the third baseman, and that's going to get a run in. Noguchi knocks it down, but unable to make the play. And that is going to double the score here, as it's now a 2-0 lead. So Yuta Koga, we're going to see if that's going to be ruled a single and an RBI. Have to wait for the official scoring on that, but it is going to bring Hiranuma across the plate. The Lions are now ahead 2-0 here. As that is going to bring home Shota Hiranuma with the second run of the ball game. My guess is that's going to be another error in the books here, but we'll wait for the official scoring on this one. All of a sudden, the Buffaloes defense has been letting them down here in the bottom half of inning number 4. There's a pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's going to be lifted foul down the left field line. Count is quickly 0-1 to Sosuke Genda. Genda officially no at bat tonight. He had a sacrifice fly that drove in the first run of the ball game. So 1 error here in the fourth inning, and waiting on a scoring decision to see if it's going to be error number 2 in the books. As Asuma holds to the set, now he delivers. Breaking ball misses down and in, and the count now goes to 1-1 on Genda. Still no official word yet from the scorer in this one, but my feeling is that's going to be E5, but I would like to wait it out and see exactly if that is what has been ruled. Pitches a breaking ball that misses down, and count now goes to 2-1 on Genda. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Right-hander Azuma holds to the set. Here comes the 2-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs. It now goes to 3-1 on Genda. It was ruled an error on the third baseman, Noguchi, so 2 errors in the inning here have provided a unearned run for the Buffaloes. I would have to think that Azuma's quietly getting to the end of his leash. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses outside. It's going to be ball 4. And that is going to put runners at first and second. It's going to bring up the top of the order. It's going to bring the pitching coach out of the Buffalo's dugout as he's coming out to have a word with his right-hander. On the top of the order, Manaya Nishikawa coming to bat here. And for Nishikawa tonight, he is 0 for 2. He's lined to second and lined to first. Buffalo's trying to get themselves out of this jam with some shoddy defensive play. Not a lot of home runs in the lineup for the Lions. As the leader with home runs in this game is Tyler Nevin with 3. Everybody else at 2 or below. So Nishikawa standing in here, batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Azuma. As Azuma gets the sign and he works himself into the set position. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down it, and the count is 1-0. Nishikawa, the 6th hitter to come to bat in the inning here for the Lions. Just a reminder, after the 5th inning, we do the Japanese halftime. That's where the ball clubs get about a 5-minute break in between innings. We like to get our iced tea refreshed, but we are going to do a little earlier jump on it here in this inning. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. A breaking ball waved at and missed. The count goes even to 1-1. We are a little bit light in the iced tea department tonight. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Manaya Nishikawa. 2-0 Lions have the lead here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. They have a couple of runners on and 2 gone. And looking to add more to their lead. Koga, the runner at second. Genda, the runner at first. 1-1 to Nishikawa. It is a breaking ball missing down, and the count goes to 2-1. I'd be curious to see here if the Buffaloes might make an early appearance to the bullpen. Already here in the inning, 74 pitches in the 4th inning here for Azuma. As Nishikawa waggles his bat, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander. As he works himself to the set, Azuma checks the runner at second. 2-1 on the way. Breaking ball swung on. Lifted down the left field line, moving over into foul territory and making the catch is Nishikawa, and that is going to do it as he retires the opposition member of the same name. And that will do it here in the 4th inning. 1 run in the inning on the benefit of no hits. There is 2 errors, and there was 2 runners left the board. Your score as we move now to the top of the 5th inning. It is the Lions 2 and the Buffaloes 1, or Buffaloes no score. We'll be back in just a couple moments. I've got to go get myself a refresh of my beverage. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're just a little late getting back into the saddle here as we were about to begin the fifth inning, a 2-0 lead for the Lions. As Tatsuya Imai is coming back out to begin his fifth inning of work. So, top of the fifth inning here, the Lions enjoying themselves a 2-0 lead. Get up and get ourselves a drink there, and the next tour will be to get some warmer clothes on, or at least warmer clothes on the feet, meaning socks. We're sitting here calling the game, and it's a little bit cool. First pitch fastball taken at the knees for called strike. Itaro Sugimoto, Yuma Tongu, and Kitaro Kobayashi to come to bat here in inning number 5. As the Buffaloes are finding themselves behind here 2-0 to the Lions. I think our friend Phil Cantillon earlier said he had the Lions 1.5, I think it was, or he took the spread. So the fastball misses down and the count goes even at 1-1. I think our friend Phil might want to redo on that one. I think he took the 1.5. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left center field. Racing and sliding and making the catch is Manaya Nishikawa, and that is going to retire Sugimoto for the first out of the inning. Oh, nice play there by the center fielder. He had to get on his horse at the left center field, and he slid to make the grab, and one gone here for the Buffaloes in their half of the inning. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Yuma Tongu. So for Tongu, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He has struck out his only trip to the plate. As the right-hander ready to go, he kicks and he fires. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Count is quickly 0-1. Phil says it takes only one pitch and he's back in it. Yeah, absolutely. You got a couple of players that play for the Buffaloes that are in scoring position when they get into the batter's box. Yuma Tongu is one of them as that fastball misses down and away. The count's 1-1. Tongu has 6 homers on the year with 15 RBIs. Of course, the other 2 with 4 homers are Oda and Sugimoto as the pitch is on the way. Fastball misses up and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Tatsuya Imai has been absolutely brilliant tonight, only allowing 1 hit over his 4+ innings of work. There is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lions right-hander ready to go back to work again as he again gets his sign from his catcher. Delivers. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side of home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Getting the right-hander ready to go as he leans in. Works himself to the set position, and here comes the 2-2. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on and missed. And Tongu's in the books for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the shortstop, Kitaro Kobayashi. At times, Imai has been brilliant with his pitches, and then there's other times where he has had those extended battles. 4 times tonight he has had counts go full, at least by our counts. Actually, it might be only 3. He's at 62 pitches right now, and the pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. He has been pretty much unhittable this season. As we mentioned, only 24 hits allowed in now almost 58 innings. That's incredible. Breaking ball waved at and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. It is like he is playing wiffle ball and everybody else forgot to bring their bats. So no balls and 2 strikes here to the right-handed hitting Kitaro Kobayashi. We saw Kobayashi play the other night against the Fighters. He had 4 hits in the game. He may have left his bat in Hokkaido. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a fastball taken on the outside corner for a called third strike. Oh, and that's going to do it as It is Kirby who stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by. And by our counts, that is the 5th strikeout of the night for Tatsuya Imai. Well, we'll be back in just a couple moments. 2-0 as we move to the bottom of the 5th. They go in order, do the Buffaloes here. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Bottom of 5th, just around the corner, halfway through this one here. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the batting order to come to bat for the Lions here in their half of the 5th inning. It'll be the second baseman, Natsuo Takezawa, Seiya Watanabe, and Tyler Nevin, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat here in inning number 5 as the right-hander ready to go. Zuma 75 pitches through 4 innings, and he delivers a first pitch fastball for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Takezawa, 1 for 2 tonight, has a single and 2 trips. As the right-hander fires, there's a fastball swung on, line softly into center field for a base hit, and that is going to be his second hit of the ball game. It'll be the 4th hit recorded tonight by the Lions if they got a leadoff batter aboard. It's going to bring up the left fielder, Seiya Watanabe. The big question here will be is Watanabe going to bunt, or are they going to let him swing away? And I think if I was the betting man, I would think the way he's played this year, they're going to let him swing away. So Takezawa getting his lead over at first base. He's got 4 stolen bases on the year. You do have to keep your eye on him as he establishes his lead. He's got 1 foot on the turf and 1 on the dirt. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Watanabe. Watanabe has flown to center and struck out in his 2 trips. As he waggles the bat, waiting on the offering from the right-hander as he leans in and gets the sign. As he works himself now to the set position, here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball swung on and lifted into right field. Moving over underneath it is Sugimoto, and he's got room to make the catch. And that is going to retire Watanabe for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here. That'll bring up the DH and Tyler Nevin. And, I have to say, for a game that's a 2-0 ball game, you'd think that it'd be sailing a lot quicker than what it is, and it feels like it is. It's really not. We're at 11:30 on the Pacific Coast, or 2:30 if you are on the Eastern time zones. So one would think that this game would be zipping along pretty quick, but no, siree, Bob. They score line like this one, and it really hasn't been a whole lot of base runners. As then you throw over to first base, and diving back is Takezawa. When you think of the Buffaloes, they were in order in the first, 4 of their 5 innings. They've gone down in order. And on the flip side of the coin, you also have the Lions doing their part at least once. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Nevin. Nevin's flown to right and flown to center in his 2 trips. Same 2 teams tomorrow night, as we will bring that one with you as well. As the pitch on the way is a pitch. It's a fastball outside. They throw down to first base, and a great back pick there. Fukunaga has gunned down Takazawa. That's going to go down as a pickoff, 2-3. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That's not going to make the manager impressed. A little bit too lazy in his secondary lead. Actually, we're going to I stand corrected on that. It looked like he was taking off to run to second base. He slammed on the brakes, and then they threw backdoor on him. They were able to get him. So that's going to even the count at 1-1 to Nevin, now with 2 gone. And the pitch is a fastball that misses inside. Count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Tyler Nevin. Looking ahead to tomorrow, it is going to be Samita versus Ryuhei Soya. I think that's how you say it. Where is it? The pitcher there. It's Ryuhei Sotani will go tomorrow as that pitch is fouled away. Down the first base line, count is 2-2 to Nevin. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander holding himself to the set position. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to the left side. Fielded by Kirbayashi. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. It's going to be a ground out 6-3, and that'll end the inning here. So an unconventional 1-2-3. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. Your score, as we are now through 5 complete, it is the Lions 2 and the Buffaloes no score. We're going to take ourselves a little time out. We'll put the music on. We're not going to put it on loop because we should be back in time to flip you some other tunes on the in-between. It is the Buffaloes and the Lions. Lions have a 2-0 lead as we move to the 6th inning. Appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. Back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Tatsuya Imai who comes out for inning number 6. The right-hander has been absolutely brilliant tonight, holding the Buffaloes only to 1 hit through their first 5 innings. It is 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Lions. No runs, 1 hit, 2 errors for the Buffaloes. And that is where we stand here going into the 6th inning with the Lions leading 2-0. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes in their half of inning number 6. It'll be Fukunaga, Noguchi, and Magia to come to bat here to face the right-hander, who has been, as we said, sparkling tonight. 5 strikeouts and only 1 walk allowed here for Imai. The walk that he allowed was only his 16th of the season. His 5 strikeouts have now pushed him into the Pacific lead as he has 60 on the year. There's a first pitch fastball that's check swing fouled away off the bat of Fukunaga. Fukunaga is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out looking his first time up. As the right-hander Imai ready to go again as he rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Remember seeing Imai pitch a couple years ago, and he always had a hard time keeping his hat on. As the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, popped up over on the left side of the infield. Camping out underneath it is Genda, and he's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Fukunaga for the first out of the inning. So 1 pitch and 1 away. It'll bring up the third baseman and Tomoya Noguchi. Well, for Noguchi, he is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He has grounded to second his only trip to the plate. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Imai. As the pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs, the count is 1-0. Our Filipino friend in the house tonight. He says the Lions really are different than compared to last year. Yeah, 100%. I was talking about it earlier on. I said, really, the Lions, where they picked up, there's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Really, about in August of last year is where they started to turn not just their season around, but there was talk, as we said earlier, about them losing 100 games last year. Go back into June, they were absolutely abysmal. Breaking ball swung on and grounded foul just past the first base coach's box, and the count goes to 1-2 on Noguchi. But the Lions, certainly the infusion of the rookie Seiya Watanabe into the lineup has been massive. Tyler Nevin's production for an import player has been solid. So you had 2 bats like that into the lineup, and then all of a sudden it starts making those around them a little bit better. As that breaking ball misses down, the count is 2-2. And you still have the experience of Tonosaki in the lineup, and Manaya Nishikawa has been giving them some plus at bats, and Sosuke Genda at the bottom of the order. So you've got 5 guys that are in the order that you could look at and say, well, they're pretty decent. Unlike last year where you had a hard time finding a couple. You've got Genda and Nishikawa, and after that it was Tonosaki, and after that it was a lot of smoke and mirrors. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Noguchi, I don't know what you were looking at, but it's not going to get better than that. He's in the books for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the top of the order, Yasuki Magia. Well, for Magia, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded to second and flown to center field. It's the second time in 3 games that we've seen him in the lineup. I didn't do anything last night. First pitch fastball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. Average has dropped to 254 on the year. No homers and 4 RBIs as the pitch on the way is the fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. Batter didn't like it. He literally buckled his knees. That pitch looked pretty good in our angle. Right now, Imai getting all the calls. There's a fastball that just misses inside. Imai started to walk off the mound. The catcher, Koga, was on his way to the third base dugout, but the home plate umpire didn't budge. And we could see why there. So that's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes. But I like the way the Lions sold the pitch, that's for sure. Fastball spiked in the dirt, and the count now goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Everybody was making a beeline to the dugout. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Magia as the left-handed hitting Magia waits. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We are keeping our eyes on the other scores around the NPB. As there is more scoring in that game in Fukuoka. It's 1-1 between the Hawks and the Eagles. That's in the top of the 5th inning. Top of the 6th inning, the Tigers have a 4-0 lead over the Carp, and that is at the Cochin. And there's a fastball swung on and missed. He has gone on strikes. He's out for the 3rd out of the inning, and that will do it here in the 6th for the Buffaloes. They go in order once again, and it's now 7 in a row retired by Imai. There was no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. Moving to the bottom half of inning number 6, and it looks like we're going to have ourselves a pitching change when we come back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us. We'll be right back after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Happy you guys can make it in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you there, Matt, and the support he gives to our channel. In turn, we like to support Matt Hollis. Was talking to him earlier today, trying to convince him to do a video on the history of baseball in San Diego. I think that would be kind of cool, as they've got a display down in San Diego as well at the Petco Park, or Petco Field, whatever they call it down there, as they definitely have some rich history in the San Diego area for baseball. Coming about here in the 6th inning for the Lions will be Shota Hironuma, Shuta Tonosaki, and Takuya Hiruma will be on here, and we're getting an update on who the Buffaloes have turned to on the mound. Not sure I necessarily enjoy how slow they are in giving this update to us as Hironuma steps in. They have a right-hander on the hill, and it does look like it is number 21, and that will be Sachiro Yamazaki. And the first pitch is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Yamazaki has struggled this year. He's got an ERA almost up around 6. But he is on here in relief. It's hard to dispute that he has a power arm. And there's a fastball that comes inside and has nailed Hironuma. He is in all sorts of pain. So Sachiro Yamazaki has drilled the first batter that he has faced tonight. Not looking like he's a happy guy. He took that pitch and he got it in the back, and it looked like he got it right on the number 1. So I would think it would be above the ribs on the back side, but gingerly now making his way over to first base is the batter Hironuma. That's going to bring up Shuta Tonosaki to the plate. And if I was betting here, I wouldn't be surprised that Tonosaki will be asked to bunt again. Came up his last time up and he dropped a bunt. He's officially 1 for 1 tonight. He singled and scored a run back in the 2nd inning. And he had a sacrifice bunt In inning number 4 would eventually lead to the second run by the Lions. But it doesn't look like that they are asking him to bunt here. Normally he will square early. So here's the first pitch. It's a fastball that runs inside on Tonosaki. Count is quickly 1-0. Boy, oh boy. Sachiro Yamazaki having his struggles here on the hill with his command of his pitches. And now he gets the visit from his first baseman, Yuma Tongu. Some words of encouragement, a pat on the backside as Tongu makes his way back over to first base. So 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander works himself to the belt. Yamazaki delivers. There is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Count runs even to 1-1. I don't know if it was a split finger, actually. I had to go back and look at the replay, and the pitch was kind of strange in terms of the way that it moved. Almost had a lot of arm side run to it, but it was held like a 2-seamer or a 4-seamer would be held. We'll have to see what that was. Again, there's a fastball swung on and grounded foul down the third base line, and the count goes to 1-2. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Shuta Tonosaki. Bottom of the 6th inning, Lions enjoying a 2-0 lead over the Buffaloes. If you're just joining us, the first run was a sacrifice fly off the bat of Sosuke Genda in the 2nd inning that opened the scoring for the Lions. And then a pair of errors and a walk, but no hits in the 4th inning brought home the 2nd run for the Lions in this one. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lions have been playing some good ball this year, and so too have the Buffaloes. Buffaloes ran into a buzzsaw when they went to Escon Field, as the Fighters also have been playing good ball. They had moved themselves into first place after that series. There's a fastball that's lifted foul down the right field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tonosaki. Runner at first, Hiranuma, as he got there on the hit by pitch. And Tonosaki has seen the count go even at 2-2. I wondered why they wouldn't have bunted in that situation. They did do it an inning or so ago. As the breaking ball swung on, this ball is going to be looped over the head of the shortstop, Kirbiashi, into left center field. Coming up with it is the center fielder, Magia, as he fires the ball back into the infield, and it's going to be a single for Tonosaki. That puts runners at first and second. And that is going to bring up the right fielder and Takuya Hiruma. So the Lions have something brewing here again in their 6th inning. At this point in time, you got to wonder if they're going to be dropping a bunt here. So Sosuke Genda, or it'll be Koga and Genda, I should say, to follow here. Runners at first and second, nobody out, and squaring to bunt already is Hiruma. And the first pitch on the way, it is bunted and it's down. It's fielded by the first baseman Tongu. He had thoughts about going to third, but instead he's going to have to settle for the play at first. That's going to go down as a sacrifice. It's going to go 3-4 in the books. Hiruma is gone for the first out of the inning. Advancing to third is Hiranuma, as Shuta Tonosaki is safe at second, and that is going to bring up the catcher in Yuta Koga. So probably not the worst decision there. Runners at first and second now with 1 gone. Koga coming to the plate. He's officially 0 for 1 tonight. He reached on an error his last time up, and he has walked. So Koga has to unlock the switch here for the Lions. See if they can add some more runs to the board. And here comes the first offering to the right-handed hitting Koga. Pitch on the way, breaking ball, waved at and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. Balls and 1 strike. Healthy crowd for this one here. As we said, the only place that there was a sparse crowd or sparse seating is behind home plate. Everywhere else, pretty busy here in the stadium for the Lions as the 0-1 pitch is on the way. There's a breaking ball down. The appeal over to first base. Actually, they don't appeal. The home plate umpire had pointed that Koga had went around. It's now 0-2. I'm sure that the home plate umpire is not earning himself a whole lot of stripes with these two catchers. Both catchers have had some calls on them. You'd think that they would probably maybe prefer to go down to first base to make the appeal on that. Would usually take the batter out of the heat or out of the position where he could get some heat. So here comes the 0-2 pitch as the pitch is on the way. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Oh, and Yamazaki settled down. He's got the second out of the inning. Going to leave it all up to the shortstop and Sosuke Genda. I have to say this. Genda could be a thorn in the side of somebody, and that somebody could be the Buffaloes right here as he strides to the plate. Officially does not have an at-bat tonight. He has a sacrifice fly and an RBI, and he's drawn a walk. So Genda waggling the bat, hitting .278 with no homers and 5 runs. Well, check that now, 6 runs driven in. As there's a breaking ball down in the dirt, and it almost got away from the catcher Fukunaga. Ball when it is here to Genda. Interestingly enough, when you note it, Genda no longer wearing the C for the Lions this year. I wonder if that had to do with some of his off-field shenanigans. He has been renowned for a number of years as the captain of the Lions. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. As the right-hander Yamazaki checks the runners, now delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-1 on Genda. Tell you, the umpire behind home plate tonight has had a liberal strike zone for both teams. I just want to see Oprah Winfrey jump in where it's you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Well, home plate umpire here has been going up with the right hand. You get a strike, you get a strike. There's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up over on the left side of the infield, backing up into shallow left field. Kirby is there to make the catch, and that is going to do it. As Genda's in the books for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. Your scores, we now move to the top of the 7th inning. It is the Lions 2, the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. Appreciate you guys hanging with us here on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of inning number 7, so the back third of the ball game is about to begin. This is where things got exciting for the Buffaloes, maybe in a not so exciting way for them, as a lot of runs were scored in that series against the Fighters. But the Buffaloes will send the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to the plate. That'll be Tomoya Mori, Nishikawa, and Oda. And for the Buffaloes, they found themselves on the short end of the stick in that one the other night. So here comes Tomoya Mori to the plate. Mori 0 for 1 tonight, as he has struck out and walked in his 2 trips. 79 pitches for the right-hander Imai through 6 innings. Curious to see if they will let him try to close this one out, depending upon where he's at in the pitch count. I would think that he is going to be probably at about 94, 95 after this half. If they go to him with the 8th, he could be upwards of about 110. First pitch fastball swung on by Tomoya Mori, and it's lifted foul down the left field line, and the count is 0-1. So the balls and 1 strike to Mori. Right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. Now the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander against the left-hander. Imai gets his sign, and he's ready to go again. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded to short, fielded by Genda. He fires to first. They get Mori by about 4 steps. It's a ground out 4-3. Sorry, check that, 6-3, because it went to the shortstop. 1 gone here, and that is going to bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. Well, for Nishikawa, he is officially 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single in 2 trips. He was erased in a double play, which ended the 4th inning. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Imai as he rocks himself into the windup. There's a fastball swung on. This has popped up over on the left side. It's playable. Coming in on it is the left fielder of the Lions. And it is going to be Watanabe who will haul it in here for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone. That's going to leave it all up to the second baseman, Ryo Oda. So if Imai can get Oda here, that would be a perfect 10 in a row. Well, maybe not perfect so much, but 10 in a row over the last 3 and change innings. As the right-hander kicks and fires, there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Oda. So no balls and 1 strike. Oda waggling the bat here, waiting on the pitch from the right-hander Imai. As the pitch is a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side home plate. Now the count goes to 0-2. I have to say, we're looking at Imai's pitch count. You'd think that at this time they'd start to get into him, or at least force him or force the manager to have to start thinking about making a change. But Imai has really done a great job of keeping the Buffalo hitters off balance in this one, as he is ready to go back to work. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a fastball spiked into the dirt, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the second baseman, Oda. Top half of inning number 7 here. The Lions enjoying themselves a 2-0 lead. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on. It's going to be lined over the head of the second baseman, Takazawa, into right center field. And stopping at first with a long single is Ryo Oda. So he is aboard here, and that is going to bring the right fielder in Yataro Sugimoto to the plate. Well, for Sugimoto, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to short and flown to center in his 2 trips. And we were talking about it earlier with Phil Canthalon, saying it just takes 1 pitch as he's back in it. And certainly 1 pitch to this hitter could bring them back in it in a big hurry. And there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. Sugimoto batting .270 with 4 homers and 10 runs batted in. Actually, check that, 265 is where he's at now. He entered the game at 270. Right-hander Imai working himself into the Motion, kicks and fires. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 0-2 on Sugimoto. Right-hander ready to go again. Imai getting his sign from the catcher Koga. Here comes the 0-2. Breaking ball in the left-handed batter's box. It misses for a ball. Count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sugimoto waggling the bat. Imai working himself to the set. Here comes the 1-2. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball misses down, and out goes to 2-2 on Sugimoto. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We said we were looking at the scores of the other games. This game, at least in our mind, we thought we were clipping along pretty good. Much better than that game over at Fukuoka. The Hawks have scored now a run in the bottom of the fifth and have retaken the lead against the Eagles. There's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Sugimoto's in the books for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. We're now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is the Lions 2 and the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. They are getting into the deep water are the Buffaloes. They've only got a couple of innings left to play with, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the top of the order to come to bat here for the Lions in their 7th inning. That means it's going to be Nishikawa, Takezawa, and Watanabe. Not sure what all the commotion is about in right center field, but they had, on left center field, but they had a bunch of cameras, and maybe somebody was about to get married, or at least offering to get married. That is what at least makes me think that. We have a pitching change here for the Buffaloes. It's going to be the 3rd pitcher used here tonight by the Orix Ball Club. It is going to be Shota Abe on relief here, as he is going to take over, as he is going to be slated to face the top of the order. Anaya Nishikawa, Natsu Takezawa, and Seiya Watanabe come to bat to face the right-hander as Abe kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Pitch is the one the umpire likes tonight to make the high strike call. Not sure why that is, but he has been, at least on the fair part, consistent. Fastball misses down and in. The count goes even to 1-1 on Nishikawa. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by the second baseman, Oda, who throws to first. That's going to be a ground out 4-3. So 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up the second baseman, and Natsuo Takezawa. Well, for Takezawa, as he strides to the plate, he's got a pair of hits tonight in this one. 2 of the Lions' 5 hits to be precise. 2 for 3 with a soft line out to the shortstop as the pitch is on the way. Fastball swung on, popped up over on the right side, backing up underneath it is Oda in shallow right field, and he's going to make the catch. And Takezawa is gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to the left fielder in Seiya Watanabe. Well, for Watanabe, struggling tonight, 0 for 3. He has flown to center, flown to right, and struck out in his 3 trips to the plate. Batting now .303 on the year, trying to keep his average over the 300 mark. As the right-hander Abe kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed. Count is quickly 0-1. I have to wonder, when you're a rookie or a rookie hitter, because of so few teams in the league, you're going to see the players so many frequent times. Fastball swung on a grounded foul past the bag at third base. Count now goes to 0-2 on Watanabe. The Lion fans and their faithful are in full voice tonight as the right-handed hitting Seiya Watanabe waits here on the offering from Shota Abe. Abe trying to get himself out of this inning with a clean inning. Here comes the 0-2. There's a split-finger pitch swung on. This ball is going to get hit into left field. The words out of my mouth. The commentators curse right there. Watanabe with a base hit single here with 2 gone. And that is going to bring up the DH and Tyler Nevin. Well, if there's somebody in the lineup who could double the lead for the Lions, Nevin is one of those bats. 0 for 3 tonight. He's been relatively quiet. He's flown to right, flown to center, and grounded out. But he will bat here in the 7th inning with 2 gone and a runner at first. Nevin's average has slipped to .268 on the campaign, but he can drive runs in. He's got 20 RBIs. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike. Count is quickly 0-1. I remember Reggie Jackson's advice to Aaron Judge when he said, when you come to the plate, don't think about batting average or anything else. Just think about driving runs in. How are you going to drive runs in? Here comes the 0-1 offering as the right-hander Abe holds to the set, now delivers. Fastball that misses down and in, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So not like the Buffaloes aren't getting the calls, certainly, nor are the Lions in those situations. That pitch looked like it could have caught the inside corner. But the umpire has been fairly consistent on those pitches tonight. It's the breaking balls up in the zone that has baffled the hitters. There's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike. Count now goes to 1-2, and Tyler Nevin decides to go for a stroll. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. As the right-hander Abe gets the side from his catcher Fukunaga. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And he kicks and delivers. It's a split-figure pitch, swung on and missed. Nevin in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it for the Lions here in their half of inning number 7. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left the board. Your scores, we are now through 7 complete. It is the Lions 2, the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We haven't had our friend Steve around here tonight, but we are going to run him off to you here in just a couple moments. We'll be right back after this.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name. And I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Yumatongu, Kotaro Kobayashi, and Sho Fukunaga to come to bat here in inning number 8 for the Buffaloes. As Tatsuya Imai is ready to go back to work. He has only faced 4 batters in innings twice tonight, in inning 4 and inning 7. Everything else, he has retired the side in order. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Count is quickly 0-1 to Yumatongu. Tongu 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out both times up against Imai. As the right-hander kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to be looped softly into center field for a base hit, just out of the reach of Genda. That is going to be a leadoff single here for Tongu, and that'll bring up the shortstop at Kotaro Kobayashi. While we were saying the other night, it was the later innings in that series against the Fighters where a lot of runs were scored. Both the Tuesday, Wednesday, or actually not both, all 3 of the games, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, lots of runs were put on the board after the 7th inning and beyond. And so here, the Buffaloes got the leadoff batter aboard. Brings Kobayashi to the plate. Kobayashi 0 for 2 tonight. The difference a few days makes, he was 4 for 4 against the Fighters the other night. First pitch fastball misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-0 on Kobayashi. Lions are ahead by a pair here, but the Buffaloes got the leadoff batter on here in the 8th. Only the second hit tonight by the Buffaloes, that off the bat of Yumatongu. The other for Ryoma Nishikawa. And here comes the 1-0. Breaking ball down. They appeal over to the first base umpire. He says, no way. It's 2 balls and no strikes to Kobayashi. Worth a look, I would guess, in that situation. So 2 balls and no strikes as Imai is slowly approaching the 100-pitch mark. Right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a slow breaking ball swung on him as the count now goes to 2-1 on Kobayashi. Curious to see if the Lions are going to turn it over in the 9th inning to Trey Winkenter, or if they're going to let Imai come out for another inning of work. There's 2 balls and 1 strike here to the shortstop Kobayashi. Nobody out here on the top of the 8th as the right-hander delivers. Fastball taken at the knees for called strike. Kobayashi didn't like it, but that's going to run the count now to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander Imai ready to go again. Has not run into a whole lot of trouble here tonight. As we said, only 2 times as he had to face 4 hitters in the inning. And there's a line drive hit into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Racing over to cut it off is Watanabe. He fires it back into the infield. And now the Buffaloes got something brewing as they got runners at first and second and nobody out. It's going to bring up the catcher and Sho Fukunaga. And one would have to think it's got to be a bunt situation right here. Sigma asked the question, is Orix coming back? Well, it sure looks like it right now. Runners at first and second. Sho Fukunaga coming to the plate. I got to think that this has got to be a bunt situation right here. Push him along. Then take your chances with Noguchi or Magia. And there is the bullpen as they're starting to get themselves up. Here are the Lions. It does look like it is Trey Wingenter who is getting up here. So as he gets on to get himself all loosened up and warmed up, I wonder if they would consider bringing him in the 8th inning. And already scoring the bunt here is Fukunaga. As the right-hander Imai holds to the set, now delivers breaking ball that is bunted foul right at home plate. Count is quickly 0-1. Both of the first and the third basemen are crashing right now in this situation. As soon as they see the hands, they are exploding in. So no balls and 1 strike to Fukunaga. If I had to pick a player of a game, maybe it was him defensively for the Buffaloes in that inning. So here we go. Here comes the offering to Fukunaga. Again, runners at first and second. Here comes the pitch. Imai delivers. It is a breaking ball down. They appeal over to the first base umpire. They say he didn't go. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm not so sure that he did pull it back in time. I'd like to get a replay of that one. Upon further review, the home plate umpire and his base umpires have got that one right. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Fukunaga trying to get the job done here as the right-hander holds to the set position. Here comes the pitch. 1-1 on the way. Breaking ball, bunted foul over on the first base side. Count goes to 1-2. Well, let's see if they keep it on here until you get out. One would have to think that they are still going to keep the bunt here on in this situation. You want to try to move them into scoring position. And certainly you want to get a couple of cracks to try to bring them home. Start walking people at this time after a bunt. Gets into some pretty dangerous hitters for the Buffaloes. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as Imai holds himself at the set. He checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball misses upstairs. I'm not sure the Lions like that call. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Fukunaga. So Fukunaga again squaring the bunt. 2 balls and 2 strikes, trying to get the runners over. Buffalo's looking to try to claw their way back into this one. They are down 2-0 to the Lions. And here comes the pitch from Imai. And it is bunted. It is foul. It's popped up, and that is going to be it. Fukunaga is going to be ruled out on strikes. He's gone for the first out of the inning. I'll bring up the third baseman, Tomoya Noguchi. Well, for Noguchi, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to second and struck out looking his 2 trips to the plate. So he is going to be asked to try to bang home a run here. Lions trying to keep the Buffaloes at bay. It has been a masterful pitching performance so far by Tatsuya Imai. He's at 104 pitches right now. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Noguchi, and then the top of the order here to come to bat. So here comes the 1-0 offering as the right-hander checks the runner at second. He checks him again. Here comes the 1-0. Breaking ball, taken for called strike. The count goes to 1-1. Bit of a late hand by the home plate umpire there that time. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Runner at second, Tagu. Runner at first, Kirby-Ashi. It was back-to-back singles to start the inning. This is the most difficulty that Imai has had here tonight. He was able to wiggle himself out of some jams earlier. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Checks the runners and now delivers. It's a breaking ball. Take it for a called strike. Count is 1-2 to Noguchi. Noguchi no stranger to being called out on strikes. He was banged out in the 6th inning, looking, and also grounded out in his 2 trips to the plate. "107 pitches thrown here by Imai as he gets the sign from his trusty catcher, Yuta Koga. And here comes the 1-2 offering as the right-hander ready to deliver. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. Sure wasn't fooled, Noguchi. He had a good rip at that one. And by the looks of it, Noguchi's got to get himself a new piece of lumber, as he had hooked that one foul. So Noguchi striding back up to the plate. Runners at first and second. 1 gone here in inning number 8. The Buffaloes have 5 outs to play with here to try to get themselves a couple of runs back. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as Imai waits. It's just this game here has all of a sudden just hit the brakes. Imai's got himself in a little bit of trouble, and he just slows everything right down. Breaking ball misses inside. That pitch is a ball, and the count goes even at 2-2. If I had to get my stopwatch out, I would say we're probably looking at a good solid 25 to 30 seconds between pitches now. Imai is in no particular hurry to get this one resumed. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. Imai delivers. There's a fastball that misses way outside. Now you got to start thinking, is this the end of the night here? It's 110 pitches here for the right-hander. He's got full count here to Noguchi. And waiting on deck is the center fielder, Magia. You're going to have to wake me up when Imai throws another pitch. It is just one slow development after another. He's either got a flair for the dramatics, or he's got no sense of time, and that might be the latter. So the right-hander holds himself to the belt, and here comes the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away, and it's going to be ball 4. So now the bases are full of Buffaloes here with 1 gone, and it's going to bring up the top of the order, Yasuki Magia. And so that is going to bring the pitching coach out of the Lions dugout as he's on a full trot to the mound. As they come out here to have a few words with the starter Tatsuya Imai. And maybe I could ask Sid, where was this a few batters ago? Could have definitely learned, have the opportunity to come out and have a talk with their pitcher, that's for sure. Well, that conference is over as Imai is now taking a tour and a stroll between the pitcher's rubber and second base. So everybody on the same page. Imai is squatting behind the mound. This is the part, as I said, it's driving me absolutely insane. Everything has now become very, very slow. This is a game that, for all intents and purposes, in terms of the score, and you would think in terms of the amount of base runners, would have been moving at a much quicker pace. I've speculated a little bit on the weekends in the Japanese league. It just seems like that the games on the weekends are longer. It looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here for the center fielder Magia. It's going to be Taisi Haruka who's coming to bat. So the Haruka is going to take over as he is going to be batting in the top spot. So Haruka standing in, and the first pitch ready to come here from Imai. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball. It's in the dirt. A good stop there by Koga. That ball had destination backstop written all over it. So ball one it is here. At the top of the order hitter, Taisi Haruka. So Tatsuya Imai falling behind in the count. He has not done that a lot tonight. Buffaloes are looking to score here. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. Count goes even to 1-1. If you just joined us, it's been all Lions here tonight to this point, as they have scored both of their runs. Certainly one run in the second inning on a sacrifice fly by Genda. Two errors in the fourth led to the run being scored by Hiranuma. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into deep left field. Moving back underneath it and making the catch is the left fielder Watanabe. Tagging at third and coming home with the first run of the ball game for the Buffaloes is Tongu. That's going to be a sacrifice fly to left. 1 RBI credited to Haruka. And it brings home Tongu with the first run of the game for the Buffaloes. And they have cut the lead in half. And somewhere our friend Phil Cantillon just pumped a fist. That brings up the designated hitter in Tomoya Mori. So Mori, we said earlier on, he had a walk in his 3 trips. He's officially 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out in his other 2. But I'm sure the former Lion here in this situation would love nothing more for an opportunity to either put the Buffaloes on top or to at least tie the ball game with a base hit. So here comes the first offering to the left-handed hitting DH of the Buffaloes. It's a fastball swung through and missed, and the count is 0-1. Mori has a tendency to swing at a lot of first pitches. C is in the house. He says, first time here and loving the commentary. Appreciate you for popping in here. Glad you could be here. I have to tell you, we're doing the best we can to keep ourselves awake. It has been one of those games that has just kind of hit the wall a little bit, and it has no business in doing it. I want to thank you for hanging in here with us. 0-1 on the way. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into deep right center field. Moving back underneath it, it's playable, and it is caught by Manaya Nishikawa, and that is going to do it, as Mori is going to be retired for the third out of the inning. But the Buffaloes get a run back here. They have cut the lead in half. They had 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are now moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 8. It is a 2-1 ball game. Lions have the lead, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat here for the Lions. That means it's going to be Shota Hiranuma, Shuta Tonosaki, and Takuya Haruma scheduled to come to bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tatsuya Imai, by all accounts, I think he might be coming back in for the 9th inning. Pretty amazing stuff here. I wonder if he's going to get himself another victory here, or it'll be his opportunity to try to close this one out. We do have ourselves a pitching change as the Buffaloes have gone to the bullpen, as they are calling on a right-hander. It is going to be Kento Kawase. We saw him a couple of nights ago against the Fighters, but he is going to be pitcher number 4 here used in this one. So Kawase on the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Hiranuma. Hiranuma officially 0 for 2 tonight. He is grounded to the first baseman as he takes a fastball for a called strike. It counts 1-1. He reached on an error and scored a run, and he was hit by a pitch. This is the kind of pace that I enjoy there. There's a fastball swung on, popped up behind home plate, giving chase is Fukunaga, but he's going to watch that one drift into the seats, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It is going to be the same 2 teams tomorrow night on the channel. So if you are around and got nothing else to do, want to join us for the action again tomorrow. Same clubs here. Same venue, same everything. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to be looped into center field for a base hit. And Hiranuma is going to be aboard for the 3rd time tonight, this time via a single. That is going to bring up the 3rd baseman and Shuta Tonosaki. Well, let's see if Tonosaki is coming up to bat to bunt again, because he has himself a couple of hits tonight. And sandwiched in between that, he's got himself a sacrifice bunt. That's the 7th hit recorded by the Lions here in this one. 2-7-0 for the Lions, 0-4-2 for the Buffaloes. The difference in the ball game is when the Buffaloes forgot to play and catch and field ground balls in the 4th inning. As that is the difference here. They throw over to first and diving back is the runner Hiranuma. Hiranuma does have a stolen base on the year. Keep your eye on him. So the right-hander leading in, getting the sign. He works himself to the belt. As Kento Kawase ready to deliver. He kicks and he fires. Breaking ball, take it for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Tonosaki. Tonosaki getting his signs from the 3rd base coach, as he is in the hole at 0-1. Crowd cheering their home team on here. Lions looking for another win here in the early going. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down. Count goes even at 1-1. We're talking about the starting pitchers for tomorrow. It'll be for the Lions. It is going to be Chihiro Samita. He takes to the hill. And going for the Buffaloes tomorrow will be Ryuhei Satani. As the 1-1 pitch coming here from Kawase. It's a breaking ball swung on. Grounded to 3rd. They go to 2nd for 1. Back to 1st. It's not going to be in time. It's going to go in the books as a fielder's choice. Haruma is going to be erased 5-4 for the first out of the inning. Safely at first is Tonosaki, and that'll bring up the right fielder in Takuya Haruma. And the question is will we see Haruma? But we won't. It is going to be Shinya Hasegawa coming to the plate. Really struggling this year, hitting 161 with a homer and 8 RBIs, as he will pinch hit here for Haruma. So Hasegawa, who has recently celebrated a birthday, as he will come to the bat here as they throw over to first base and diving back in time as the base runner. Take a peek here. I don't know if that's still Tonosaki running, or if the Lions have made a substitution there as well, after trying to pick up the number on the base runner over there at first base. As he leans in and gets the sign, here comes the offering. Right-hander holds set. Kawase ready to deliver. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and pop foul. It's going to reach the seats on the first base side of home plate. Count is quickly 0-1. And it does look like it is going to be the end of the night. It is going to be Ryusuke Kadama who is running for Tonosaki. Doesn't have any stolen bases this year, but he's got 7 in his career over the last couple of years. So he is a bit of a threat to steal in limited opportunities. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down. It's now even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Shinya Hasegawa. Trying to get himself on a little bit of a roll if he can. Phil says he'd be happy if the score remains the same right now. Well, we saw this the other night. All heck broke loose after the 7th inning. As the breaking ball is swung on, this ball is going to be lifted into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And stopping at second base is Kadama. Nice play there by the left fielder, Nishikawa. Looked like he was going to catch the ball, or at least that's how he feigned it. And stopping at second is Kadama. I think he could have went first to third. But that is going to be runners at first and second. It's going to bring the catcher, Yuta Koga, to the plate. So the Lions here looking to restore their 1-run lead, or restore their 2-run lead as they're hunting for runs here. Runner at second, Kodama. Runner at first is Hasegawa. They have a conference of Buffaloes on the mound. I'm not even sure what a conference of Buffaloes. Maybe it's a pack of Buffaloes. I'm not sure. Regardless, a lot of Buffaloes out there. And it looks like we're going to have ourselves a pinch hitter for Koga. As they go to the bench, it is going to be the veteran Takumi Kuriyama to pinch hit. So all kinds of changes going on here for the Lions. And that is going to bring the manager out of the dugout. It looks like we are going to have ourselves a pitching change for the Buffaloes, as they do have a left-hander up and throwing. I'll try to get the number here as they are making the change right about now. Not sure if that's 57 or 67. My trusty glasses, I'm not sure if they're failing me or not. It either is going to be Yamada. It looks like it is going to be the left-hander Yamada. We've seen him pitch the other day, and in a lot of ways it is everyday Yamada. And the lefty is coming into the ballgame. We're going to be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for being here. Our friend Phil says he knew it was too good to be true. Well, you never know. It's a 2-1 ball game right now. We'll be back in just a moment. We got ourselves a pitching change. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. This one here, it is never a dull moment. in this one tonight. We'll be back in just a couple moments.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice tall cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the left-hander coming into the ball game. This is Nobuyushi Yamada as he is completing his warm-up tosses, and he is going to be the fifth pitcher used tonight by the Buffaloes. So Nobuyushi Yamada on in relief. As we said, he is going to be facing Takumi Kuriyama, the pinch hitter for the Lions here in this one. So the runners are at first and second. The runner at second is Kadama. He came on to pinch run for Tonosaki. Runner at first is Hasegawa. And with one gone here, Kuriyama is standing in. So Buffaloes finding themselves behind by a run here, and the Lions looking to restore that 2-run lead they had in the top half of this inning. So here comes the first offering from Yamada, who works himself into the set position. Yeah, the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses up and in. Count is 1-0. This was where the Buffaloes had their problems in that Fighters series. Got past the seventh inning, and then the bullpen just imploded. So I'm not exactly sure what is happening in the land of the Buffaloes these days. Normally a pretty steady pen has been a highlight of their franchise over the last couple of years. As the 1-0 is on the way, it's a fastball that misses up and in. And the count now goes to 2-0 on Kuriyama. So 2 balls and no strikes. Hanshin Tigers knocked off the Hiroshima Carp 5-2. Hawks have a 2-1 lead over the Golden Eagles. That's also in the top of the 8th inning. This one here is in the bottom of the 8th, 2-1 for the Lions over the Buffaloes. And here comes the 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses down. It's now 3-0. You bring a lefty in to face a lefty, it drives you crazy when they can't get him out. We were talking about the scores in yesterday, and certainly how the Lions were playing here. Lions won 3-0 yesterday against the Buffaloes. Buffaloes in that 8th inning here tonight finally got their first run of the series. As the pitch on the way, it's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 3-1 on Kuriyama. Last night, the Buffaloes only had 3 hits against the Lions. The Lions had pounded out 7, but were able to claw out their runs. Of the 7 hits last night, Nevin had 3 and Nishikawa had 3. They had 6 of the 7 hits between the two of them. So here comes the 3-1 pitch as the lefty Yamada works himself into the set position. 3-1 on the way. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on and missed. Count now goes full to Kuriyama. So is he going to come all the way back? It's good old-fashioned hard ball now. So full count here to the pinch hitter Kuriyama. Waiting on deck is another left-handed hitter in Sosuke Genda. The left-hander waggling the bat. Waiting here on the offering from the lefty Yamada. As he works himself into the set position, he checks the runner at second. 3-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to do it. Kuriyama in the books for the second out of the inning. So he is gone. It's going to leave it all up to the shortstop and Sosuke Genda. That was a big-time strikeout there by Yamada. A four-seamer. It was up in the zone as well. It was just above the waist height. So that brings Genda to the plate. He was officially 0 for 1 tonight. He had popped to short his last time up. He's walked and had a sacrifice fly and drove in the first run of the game. Batting from the left side here against the left-handed throwing Yamada. His averages dipped to 275 on the year. That all could be forgotten here. On the base hit, there's the first pitch fastball swung on. It's lifted foul down the left field line, and it is going to hit the netting. Nishikawa did not give up on that one as he raced all the way over to the fence, but just ran out of real estate. Our friend C said Lions have the best, I think he means best chance, time cheer in the NPB. Yeah, they got some pretty cool chants. I like the one for Shirotona Saki. I like what they sing when he comes up to the plate. Certainly got a lot of rhythm to it. So here comes the 0-1 pitch to Yamada to Genda as Yamada holds set. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses low, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Lions trying to pad their lead, looking ahead to the 9th inning. It's going to be Nishikawa, Oda, and Sugimoto to come to bat. And it's the other thing we got to keep in mind, too, is if Imai does come back, he's been sitting in the dugout for quite a while. They did have Wingenter up and throwing in that last half inning. As time has been called, and Yamada has gone back to the rosin bag. Well, it looks like Kaima Taira is up and throwing here for the Lions, the diminutive right-hander. One-time reliever, one-time starter, and now back to being a reliever again. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's the fastball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Genda. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I have to say, that game we had the other night where we had all those people in the stream, certainly the game was not even anywhere close to like this. This game here, got the 2-3 teams in the Pacific League battling head-to-head. It's a 2-1 ball game. It's probably everything that has been advertised. Good pitching, some timely hitting. As the 1-2 pitch ready to come here. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down. Count goes to 2-2 on Genda. If you are Yamada, you don't really want to get over to the top of the batting order, as it is Manaya Nishikawa who will wait his turn on deck. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the shortstop of the Lions as Genda gets himself back in. I have to tell you that if they had open skies, it would be like a rain delay here. As these 2 pitchers now that are in the ball game, Yamada from the Buffaloes and Imai, when he has runners on base, just become rain delays. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, fielded neatly by the second baseman Oda. Flips it to the shortstop covering. It's going to be a fielder's choice. 4-6. That is going to retire Hasegawa at second base for the 3rd out. That is going to do it here in the 8th inning for the Lions. They threaten, but they don't score. Looks like we're going to have a reliever. It looks like it's going to be Kaima Taira. We'll see if that is for sure when we return. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left the board. We're moving to the top of the 9th inning. It is closing time here for the Lions. We'll be back in just a few. See if they can get it done. Our friend Phil says the pressure. Indeed it is. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kai Mataira who is taking over on the mound here. As it is going to be Simitani, the veteran catcher, going in behind the plate for Koga. As we have a number of changes here for the Lions. And it is going to be Nishikawa, Oda, and Sugimoto to come to bat here. As the Buffaloes are looking for a run to tie, and Nishikawa squares to bunt, but he bunts it foul down the first base line, and the count is quickly 0-1. Nishikawa 1 for 3 today, has a single in 3 trips. He was erased in a double play after reaching on that single back in inning number 4. So for Kai Mataira, making his 16th appearance of the season. Fastball swung on, lifted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble. Moving back onto the warning track and looking up and making the catch is the right fielder, Hasegawa, and that is going to retire Nishikawa for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here as the Lion fans had a deep breath, a deep sigh of relief. That is going to bring up the second baseman, Ryo Oda. 15 appearances this year for Tyre, 14 in the 3rd innings, 10 hits allowed. He's walked 7, which is a little too much, struck out 14. There's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul from the first base side. Count is 0-1 to Oda. Tyre has given up 3 earned runs out of 5 that he has given up, and it's a 1.88 ERA that he projects. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Oda. Oda officially 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single in his 3 trips. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on. Softly hit down the 3rd base line. Fielded by Kadama. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Oda for the second out of the inning. It's a ground out 5-3. So 2 quick outs here in the 9th inning, and it's going to leave it all up to the right fielder in Yataro Sugimoto. And if there's somebody that can hit the home run or run around, this is the guy to do it. The big fella here at the plate, ready to face the one from Tyra, and there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Tyra gave up 1 home run last year in 48 2/3 innings of work. The year before, he gave up 10 in 150. Breaking ball misses down. That was when they had him as a starter. And moving back to the bullpen last year, probably the right thing. He had some shoulder issues. As it's 1 ball and 1 strike here. And now he steps off the backside of the rubber. He doesn't like the call that he's received. We're going to cycle through the signs and do it all over again. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sugimoto. Here's the pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner. Sugimoto didn't like it. He turns, does a 180, and walks out of the batter's box in complete disgust. Top of the 9th inning here. The Lions have a 2-1 lead over the Buffaloes. And now they're down to their final strike. Here comes the pitch from Tyra. Fastball swung on and fouled away. He walked the ladder. Sugimoto able to stay on top of it and foul it off. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. Right-hander Tyra delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. Fielded behind the bag by the second baseman, Takazawa. Throws to first, and it's not going to be in time. The big fella, Sugimoto, still runs not bad. And he's able to leg it out for an infield single. You know he's coming out of the ball game as they're going to have a pinch runner come in for him. That's going to bring up Yuma Tongu to the plate. So the Lions... their hands full here. It looks like it is going to be number 27 entering the game. And who would that be? That is Kendai Gen to run for Sugimoto. And the first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1 to Tongu. Tongu, 1 for 3 tonight. He has got a single, scored run. He was brought home in the 8th inning. He's also struck out twice. There's a fastball missing down and in. Count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yuma Tongu. Tyra getting his sign. He's ready to do it again. And the 1-1 on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. And now again, down to their final striker, the Buffaloes. If this was tennis, we would say this is second match point. An opportunity for the Lions to finish it off here at home against the Buffaloes in this one. And the 1-2 on the way. Fastball swung on. Its pop foul. It's going to reach the seats behind the first base dugout. And the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tongu here. We will wrap this one up after the game. We'll give you the recap, the rundown, and we will give you the out-of-town scoreboard. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses outside. Count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And getting the sign from Simitani. Working to the set is Tyra. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. And this ball is going to be off the wall. It's going to get down. Rounding first, heading to second. And coming in to score all the way from first base is Kendai Gen. And a double off the bat of Tongu as they're down to their final strike. And the Buffaloes have tied the game at 2 here in the 9th inning. Unbelievable. As Kaima Tyra knew as soon as he delivered the pitch, that ball looked like it was destined for the seats. And the Buffalo crowd that is in attendance, not a lot of them. And Yuma Tongu's got himself an RBI double. And that is going to bring up the shortstop in Kataro Kirbayashi. He left that pitch up too high in the zone. Ball ended up short hopping the fence. Not sure if I like the way that Manaya Nishikawa went after it. But I guess he didn't have to try to haul it in. It's going to be the end of the night for Tongu as he gets high fives as he returns back to the dugout. We are going to get a pinch runner for him. Elliot says, late drama. Phil says, I don't know how to feel at the moment. And C says, no, yeah, extra innings. Better get up and get the coffee going because, holy man, this one here, we were about ready to put this one to bed. So Kentaro Kobayashi at the plate, and the first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Kobayashi 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single in 3 trips. He's raised his average to 299. C says that was a gift. They had chances, did the Lions, to put the Buffaloes away earlier on. The one thing I couldn't understand is that breaking ball had missed. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kobayashi is specifically on the offensive side. There is a check swing that is fouled off down the first base line. Count goes to 1-2. When Tonosaki was at the plate, not his first at bat, because his first at bat he singled, but the second time he came up, they asked him to sacrifice bunt in exactly the same situation. In his next 2 at bats, they never asked him to sacrifice. And I would have thought that they would have maybe put the runners into scoring position with a chance to drive another run home. There is a breaking ball swung on and missed, picked up and fired to first, and Kobayashi is going to be retired. A strikeout 2-3 on the putout. And that is going to do it here in the 9th inning for the Buffaloes. Well, the Buffaloes got a run in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your scores, we move now to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's the Buffaloes 2 and the Lions 2. Oh, boy. We'll be back in just a few. Our friend Phil says he can't believe it, and we can't believe it either. We're going to be back in just a bit. Pitching change for the Buffaloes. We'll be right back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for being with us. It's Luis Perdomo when we return.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Well, welcome back, everybody. If you thought we were going to be taking the wrap-up here, well, not so fast, as the Orix Buffaloes got themselves a late run in the top of the 9th inning, as they have now evened the scoreline at 2. It is going to be the top of the order, though, coming up to bat here for the Lions. It'll be Nishikawa, Takezawa, and Watanabe to face Luis Perdomo here in the 9th inning. So this game has had some twists and turns, to say the least. The right-hander Perdomo ready to go. The first pitch is a fastball missing down for ball 1. Count is 1-0. Nishikawa 0 for 4 tonight. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Perdomo. And the pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0. So we were getting ourselves all packed up, ready to head out the door. And the Buffaloes had some other things in mind here in this one tonight. So unbelievable. Here comes the pitch. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. And almost misplayed there by Nishikawa. He got underneath it, and then he had to retreat a little bit more. But he catches it at the edge of the warning track, and that is going to retire Nishikawa for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone. It is going to bring up the second baseman in Natsuo Takezawa. Well, for Takezawa, he's raised his season average to 256. He is 2 for 4 on the evening, 2 singles in 4 trips. And he squares the bunt and he drops one down the third baseline. It's a good one. They're going to have to hurry to get him. The throw is offline and he's going to slide in safely. Oh, that's a hustle play. Oh, that's some heads up baseball right there by Takezawa. Gets his third hit of the night on a bunt. And his speed down the line has allowed him to get into that spot. Now you got to keep your eye on him to see if he's going to take a bag at second base. Nice play there by the third baseman, Noguchi, who had to come off the bag to make the play. At least I think it's still Noguchi over there. They have had some wholesale changes. We weren't getting to get you the updates as they come to bat. Well, keep your eye here on the base runner, as that's Perdomo throws over to first, and diving back in time is the runner Takezawa. It is Seiya Watanabe on the stick here. He is 1 for 4 tonight. As Perdomo again throws over to first, and again diving back is the runner. So Takezawa, if they win this one here tonight, you got to start thinking that maybe Takezawa is going to be the player of the game here. 3 knocks, especially if they can get themselves a stolen base here. Here comes the pitch. And it is a breaking ball that misses down. Oh, that would have been the pitch to run on too. So 1 ball and no strikes to Watanabe. Our friend Gustavo says, can someone tell me how many outs the Orix Buffaloes have? Just sit back and listen there, Gustavo. You'll be able to know what it is. There's 1 gone here in the 9th. There's a fastball swung on it. It has popped up. It's over on the first base side. It is playable. Moving over is Fukunaga, and he makes the catch. And Watanabe, what a wasted at bat that was. He's in the books for the 2nd out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to the designated hitter and Tyler Nevin. So extra innings are looming now as Nevin comes to bat here with 2 gone in the 9th inning. Nevin hitting 267 now on the season, 0 for 4 tonight. He's flown out twice, he's grounded out and struck out. As the right-hander Perdomo again fires over to first, and again diving back in time as the base runner Takezawa. So here's the offering. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The runner was on the move. Nevin is going to foul that one away. No balls and 1 strike. Kind of found that interesting that they were going to turn Nevin loose on the first pitch and put the runner in motion at the same time, too. He had a pretty good jump. I wonder if Nevin didn't swing, he might have stole the base. So no balls and 1 strike here. Lions have themselves a lead, and they let it slip away. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses outside. Count goes to 1-1. Phil Cantelon says, watch Nevin go deep here. Nah, not going to happen. It's where he hooks it just to the left of the foul pole. And they throw over first again and diving back in time. That was actually a pretty close play there. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Tyler Nevin. Here comes the offering from Perdomo as he holds himself to the set. Pitch on the way. There goes the runner. Throw not in time. He's going to get himself safely in with a stolen base. That is going to be the 5th of the year for Takezawa. And I didn't get to see if it was a ball or a strike to Nevin. We'll have to get a look at the replay here. He had checked his swing. The ball was down a little bit. So the runner is at second base here. It is 2 balls and 1 strike to Nevin. Base hit here. could potentially win the game here for the Saitama Seibu Lions. The outfield in left and in center is a bit shallow. Right fielder is a little bit deeper. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. And the count goes even at 2-2. Should we go to the 10th inning, there will be a little mini break in between inning number 9 and inning number 10. As they do a little break as well. And if that is the case, we'll take a quick timeout as we need to get a pit stop in here to bring you the rest of this one home. So 2-2 to Nevin. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded through the 6-hole into left field, and they have to hold the runner at third. The left fielder, Nishikawa, playing very, very shallow. So a base hit here for Nevin. That puts runners on the corners with 2 gone, and it is going to bring up Shota Hiranuma to the plate. And for Hiranuma, he is officially 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single. He's been hit by a pitch. He's reached on an error. He's grounded out to the first baseman. And on top of it, they have, scored on an error. They have a trip to the mound here as Perdomo is getting a tune-up talk. So runners around the corners. Keep your eye on the shenanigans, too. I don't think Nevin would be a guy that would run. But you never know. Maybe they'd try to draw the throw. It makes you wonder. You might as well just let him walk there. Most important person right now is the batter. We saw a game a couple of years ago. I think it was between the Lions and the Fighters. Fighters for sure, but I think it was the Lions. And it was a wild pitch that ended the game. So can you imagine that? Ball gets spiked. Next thing you know, you walk it off on a wild pitch. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the wild pitch and 2 runs had scored from it. That was the crazy part. First pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Hiranuma. Phil says, does he have power? Only if the ball hit the bat. No home runs on the year. Not much to speak of in his career. And there is a split finger pitch. Waved at and missed. Count goes to 0-2. He might, with those 2 swings, he might be better off just going up to bat with no bat in his hand and taking your chance, maybe to get a walk or 2 or whatever. The worst thing you could do is take the cuts he's just had. It is a man against boy. There's another pitch that's a split finger in the dirt, and that is going to do it. 3 pitches. Hiranuma's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Lions in their half of the 9th inning. No runs in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are now moving to the top of the 10th inning. It looks like the Lions are going to be making a pitching change. That will be the end of Kaima Taira. And we will be back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for hanging here with us on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back after we take ourselves a little timeout as well. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat, but we do have a pitching change for the Lions. It is going to be Haruto Yamada on in relief. It'll be the third pitcher used tonight by the Saitama Seibu Lions. And he is going to be facing Fukunaga, Noguchi, and the top of the order in Taisi Haruka. So he has completed his tune-up tosses, and the Buffaloes will be coming to bat here in the top of the 10th inning. It was the same story in the series with the Fighters and the Buffaloes. A lot of scoring came late. Here in this one tonight, the Lions got off to a early 1-0 lead in the second inning. A sacrifice fly off the bat as Sosuke Genda brought home the first run, but it looks like there's going to be Kenya Wakatsuki here to pinch hit. The Lions added another in the fourth, but it's been runs by the Buffaloes in the 8th and the 9th inning that have now tied the ball game. So Wakatsuki on to pinch hit. And the first pitch is missed for a ball, and it is 1-0. So Wakatsuki on here to pinch hit for Fukunaga. Batting from the right side, here is the catcher of the Buffaloes. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So I'm not sure where the runs are going to come from here. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base line, and the count goes to 1-2. When you look at the ball club here for the Buffaloes, all the power is between Oda, Sugimoto, and Tongu, but Sugimoto and Tongu are no longer in the ball game. They have been taken out for pinch hitters. I don't know where their power is going to come from. Maybe Mori, although he doesn't have much this year. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes to Wakatsuki. Kept thinking that they were down to the final strike. I think it was 3 times that they were down to the final strike. The Buffaloes are like cats. They have 9 lives. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the first base line. The count is going to remain at 1-2 to Wakatsuki. One thing the Lions do well is they can pitch the heck out of the ball. That is one of their strengths for certain. The right-hander works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball waved at and missed. And Wakatsuki, he's gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here. That's going to bring up the third baseman and Tomoya Noguchi. And for Noguchi tonight, well, he is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out his 2 trips to the plate. He's also drawn himself a walk. So he stands in here ready to face the right-handed slants of Yamada, who kicks and delivers. There's a fastball at the knees for a called strike. That might be the best pitch you're going to see there, Noguchi. It was a middle fastball that you watched go by. 5 for 22 on the season for the left-handed hitting third baseman. And he waves at a breaking ball and misses, and now the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. If you've just joined us, we are in the top of the 10th inning as the Lions and the Buffaloes are going extras. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on. It's going to be looped. And a nice play. Oh, what a catch by the second baseman. Takazawa crawled up the ladder, and he makes the catch in shallow right center field. And that is going to retire Noguchi for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone. It'll bring up the top of the order in Taisi Haruka. If I had to pick a player of the game tonight, certainly my candidate for the Lions has got to be the second baseman, Takazawa. He's got 3 hits tonight, a stolen base, and that defensive web gem to go with a couple other nice plays. And the first pitch to Haruka is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Haruka had a sacrifice fly in his only at bat here since coming on for Magia. And there's a breaking ball missing down, and the count goes even at 1-1. He's hitting .312 on the season. 3 homers and 8 RBIs for Haruka. He can run into a ball if he had to. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and fouled away. In fact, fouled right off of the batter himself as he runs halfway down the first baseline. We'll get a look at that one. That was a split finger pitch. Oh, he fouled it right into the top of his left foot. Oh, that's going to leave a mark. And now the trainer has come out to check on him. Kind of reminded me in some ways of Tyler Austin last year for the Yokohama DNA Bay Stars in the Japan series, fouling a ball off of his foot. Ended up having to miss a game or a couple games last year in the series. So Haruka goes and gets some more spray for the bat, and he gingerly walks back to the batter's box. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Once upon a time, this game had a pretty good clip to it. That was once upon a time. Now this is looking like it's going to shape up into a 5-hour affair. There's a breaking ball swung on, and this one's grounded foul, and Haruka still hobbling around. The batter's box, 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. We're actually in the top of inning number 10. I hadn't changed the ticker. It is a 2-2 ball game here between the Buffaloes and the Lions. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses up, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting Taisei Haruka. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down. And Haruka did go into center field tonight. Interesting. I thought that he would have been left in the infield, but no, he did go into the center field positions. 3-2 now here to Haruka. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone here in the 10th. And the pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on line softly to the shortstop Genda, who makes the catch off the carpet, and that is going to do it for Haruka. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Buffaloes. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your score as we move to the bottom half of inning number 10. It is the Lions and the Buffaloes all locked up at 2s. We'll be back in just a little bit after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Routes Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Back, everybody. It is going to be Andres Machado coming in relief, as he is, by our count, it's going to be the 7th pitcher used by the Buffaloes here in this one, as he is going to be set to face, supposed to be Kadama, Hasegawa, and Kuriyama, but we'll have to get a check on that here in just a moment. Check that, it'd be Sumitani. So Kadama, Hasegawa, and Sumitani to come to bat, as they will be facing the right-hander here. And right-hander Machado delivers his first pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 0-1 to Kadama. Kadama has entered the ball game as he came into pinch run for Shuta Tanasaki back in the 8th inning. This is his first at bat of the ball game. Batting from the right side here, the diminutive third baseman waiting on the first pitch or the second pitch now here from Machado. Fastball swung on, grounded softly down the third baseline. This is like a swinging bunt. Fielded. The throw to first is not going to be in time, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go up and have a look at this one. Oh, Kadama got down the line. I'd make a challenge of it. I don't know what they're looking at here, if they're going to do it or not. We're going to find out in a moment. I think it was worth a peek. Look at the replay here. Swinging bunt. Boy, did he get down the line in a big-time hurry. Noguchi had to throw it in a hurry. Let's get a look at this one here. I don't know. I think obviously they didn't think it was worth taking a look at, so they didn't do it. So this brings to the plate Shinya Hasegawa, and he check swing fouls that one away. So one gone here quickly, and one strike here to Shinya Hasegawa. Hasegawa batting from the right side. He had a hit in his first time up when he came to bat in the 8th inning. Came on to replace Takuya Hiruma. Fastball misses upstairs, counts even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And if you just joined us, well, Buffalo's extended this game here as they were down to their final strike. 3 times they were down to their final strike, and Kaima Taira unable to seal the deal. As that pitch misses down, and the count is now 2-1 to Hasegawa. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the right-hander Machado kicks and delivers. It's a fastball. It comes in and he's drilled Hasegawa. Oh, my goodness. And down goes the right-handed batter of the Lions. And he is going to have to walk that one off. But the Lions do get themselves a base runner. You can tell he's not overly happy. That last pitch there poured in mid-90s and plunked them right on the thigh. Oh, that's going to leave a mark. So Hasegawa dusts himself off and he makes his way to first base, and that brings Junjiro Simatani to the plate. This will be his first at bat of the ball game. He has a lot of stickers on his suitcase. He's been with a number of different teams as Simatani. Began his career with the Saitama Seibu Lions. And he played with the Yomiuri Giants for 3 years, then the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. And he is in the twilight of his career. It's his second season returning to the Lions. Pitch on the way, fastball misses up and away. He'll be 38 years old in July. So 1 ball and no strikes to Simatani. He definitely is a double play candidate, though. He doesn't particularly run well anymore. Not that he ever was a burner. That's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded through the 6-hole into left field. That's going to put runners at first and second with 1 gone. That's going to bring Sosuke Genda to the plate. Well, for Genda tonight, officially 0 for 2. Bounced into a fielder's choice, popped to short. He's also walked and had a sac fly and driven in a run. So they've got 2 aboard here with 1 gone. Genda looking to play the part of the hero. Pretty much any ball hit to the outfield, as long as it's not right to the hitter, could get that runner in from second base. But if it's right to the fielder, They do have the outfield shallow here, as they've got to be able to try to throw the runner out. And the pitch on the way, a fastball swung on, is grounded over to the left side. They go to second for one, back to first. It's not going to be in time. Oh, Genda got down the line good. That's a fielder's choice. It's going to be 6-4 to erase Kuriyama. He's gone for the second out of the inning. Safe over at third is Hasegawa. It's going to bring the top of the order in Manaya Nishikawa to the plate. And it's also going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound. Have a couple of words with the right-hander Machado. So just as the pitching coach brings Machado a drink of water, we're going to take a swig of our own here. Manaya Nishikawa striding to the plate, 0 for 5. Looking for his first hit on the evening. He has flown to left twice. He has popped to second, lined to first, and he's grounded to second. So he's got a chance to play the hero. The 0 for 5 could be all for naught here if he is able to get himself a knock. And here comes the first pitch. Fastball misses down and in for ball one. Count is 1-0. Of course, at the same time, wouldn't it be appropriate if Natsuo Takazawa had a chance to win the ball game for the Lions? He's been fantastic tonight, and he is on deck. So 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander Machado holds to the set. And the pitch on the way, breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Count goes even at 1-1. And Genda has now stolen second base, or possibly achieved it on a defensive indifference. I'm not sure what the scorer will give him. So that takes away the possibility of a force. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And here's the pitch. Fastball swung through and missed. And the count now goes to 1-2 on Nishikawa. So the Lions here, another golden chance to try to punch a run across. Base hit here wins it. Nishikawa waiting on the offering from the right-hander. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the left field line. And the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, 2 things are going to happen. Either the Lions are going to win it right here, or we're going to the 11th inning. Who would have thunk it? As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses up and away, and it's now 2-2. That's a good pitch there by Machado to change the eye level of the hitter. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if he comes back with something low and in the dirt. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Runner at third is Hasegawa. Runner at second, Genda. Here's the pitch. Oh, it's come up and in, and it's hit the batter. I think it's hit him. I don't think they're saying it is a foul ball. We're going to take a look here. Home plate umpire now has ruled that he gets first base. He's going to get the trainer to come out and look at him. Oh, boy, I thought he was going to call that a foul ball, and the Hasegawa took his glove off and was pointing to his hand. He had been hit by the pitch. It looks like the umpires are going to get together on this one here. What a strange finish this has turned out to be. They are going to go down and have a look, as it is going to be challenged here by the Buffaloes. But if it does stand, it'll be the bases loaded. And then it'll be Takazawa coming to bat, who has 3 hits tonight in this one. Let's take a look at the replay ourselves. Pitch came inside to the hitter. Oh boy, I think it got him on the wrist / top of the hand. At least that's the first angle that we saw. It did look like it in real time, too, and he certainly sold it pretty good. It's a very dangerous spot to get hit. You could break a bone, and you could be out for quite some time. I think the best angle is the head-on angle here. Four-seam fastball just rode inside. Ooh, although that angle there looked like it could have been off the knob of the bat. Asmodius presents his 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Well, we're going to wait and see here. Could be potential foul ball. That's for sure. And the umpires have come out, and they have ruled that it did hit him. He is going to get first base. That's going to be a challenge charged against the Buffaloes. They've only got one left. It's going to load the bases, and it's going to bring Natsuo Takezawa to the plate. Well, for Takezawa tonight, he is 3 for 5. All 3 of his hits have been singles. He's also got himself a stolen base to go with it. But here he is. He's got a chance to do it. Asmodius says, is he hurt? No, he's not hurt. So Takezawa stepping to the plate with a chance to win the ball game right here and now. And Machado ready to go. He's got the bases loaded here, 2 gone. Right-hander works himself into the set position. And here's the pitch. It is a split-finger pitch and misses down. They say that he didn't go, and that's ball 1. Our friend Elliot asked the question, did they show the pitch speed? Absolutely. Yeah, Machado in kilometers. I'll get you a speed in a minute, and I'll try to convert it for you into miles an hour. As the 1-0 pitch is ready to come, here's the offering. Fastball misses outside. It's now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Didn't see that. Didn't get the read on the last one there. As I'm watching fireworks outside my window here. So 2 balls and no strikes. I think they're celebrating a little early for the Lions. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded through the 4-hole into right field, and that is going to do it. The Lions are going to walk it off, and Takezawa is going to get himself an RBI single, his 4th hit of the game, as he plays the hero in this one. That is going to bring home Shinya Hasegawa with the 3rd run. And the Lions, who had the game in the bag in the 9th inning, coughed it up to the Buffaloes, only to add a little extra drama and a few more beer sales. And this is going to be your final score. It is 3-2 for the Lions. Hang tight, everybody. I'll come back and wrap this one up for you. Appreciate you guys for jumping in with us late. Be right back after this. Your final score, 3-2, Lions over the Buffaloes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Phil says you're doing the game tomorrow night. Same 2 teams, same channel. We'll be back on for these ones. Hopefully you guys can make it in. Quick roundup of the scoring in this one. The Lions got things going in the 2nd inning with 1 out. It was back-to-back singles off the bat of Shuto Tonosaki and to Kuya Haruma. And after a walk to Yuta Koga, up stepped Sosuke Genda, and he sacrificed home Shuto Tonosaki with the 1st run of the game. Lions added to their lead in the 4th inning when the Buffaloes' shoddy defense showed up. An error by the second baseman Oda. And then Shota Tonosaki advanced Shota Hiranuma over to second on a sac bunt with 2 out. It was an error by the third baseman at the time, Noguchi, that allowed Yuta Koga to reach base. That put runners at the corners and actually allowed the runner to score in that situation. And that is what allowed or made the scoreline 2-0 at that point. In the 8th inning, the Buffaloes got their first run. It was a single to Tongu, a single by Kobayashi, and after a strikeout by Fukunaga, a walk to Noguchi, up stepped the pinch hitter, Taisi Haruka, who sacrificed home. Tongu, with the first run of the game for the Buffaloes, cut the lead to 2-1. In the 9th inning, it was 3 times the Buffaloes were down to their final strike, and they got off of the deathbed with 2 out. It was a single by Yataro Sugimoto. He was pinch run for by Kenta Gen, and then up stepped Yuma Tongu, and he had a double into the left center field gap that brought home Gen to tie the game at 2. But the Lions in the bottom of the 10th inning with 1 out. It was Shinya Hasegawa. He got hit by a pitch. Then there was a single off the bat of Jinjiro Simatani that put runners at first and second. Then Sosei Enda bounced into a fielder's choice that put runners on the corners. Manaya Nishikawa was hit by a pitch to load the bases. And then Natsuo Takazawa singled home the runner Shinya Hasegawa that gave the 3-2 lead for that one as well. Well, everybody, it's been a tiring night for me. I didn't expect to be on here this long. We appreciate some of the new folks that came in. C says, do you call all the Lions games? No, we don't. We do all kinds of stuff. If you go back and look at our archives, you'll see that we call all kinds, Central League, Pacific League games in the Japanese League. We appreciate everybody else that has popped in tonight. Phil, Asmodius, anybody else who we will miss, including Vic or Elliot. Thank you guys for being here. Harrison earlier on holding it down, as was our friend Jimmy Feltner and Redbeard Brinks. Thank you for all you guys and your support, not to mention Manny Mike, who kicked it off for us at the beginning. Once again, everybody have a great night. We will see you again tomorrow night, same 2 teams, and hopefully you guys can make it in. It is going to be 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern. Hopefully you can make it for that. Have a great night, everybody.